forms back to its regular time and composition after a hiatus for most of the first month of the year. I, as always, am Planet Jane, joined by my co-hosts Trevor Whatever.
Hello!
And Shredney Vashtar.
Hi.
I think I've changed the way I've said your username like 8 times over the course of this show.
I mean, it's fine. There is no pronunciation guide to 100-year-old short stories.
That's fair.
I typically stick with Shredney Vashtar.
I think that was the first one I used.
But, I think that the intention is like, Shredney Vashtar. It is, like, the character in the story definitely has been reading about, Hindu mythology and things.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it sounds like vaguely,
Yeah, like,
I don't
H.H.
remember.
Munro was actually, I think, born in Burma. His father was an officer in the something.
In the something.
I can't remember.
The esteemed something corps of something Stan.
But, he was,
Hello, Win.
stationed in... Hi, Win! But,
Hello.
yeah, his father was stationed in Burma, and he spent, like, a lot of his childhood there. And then when his
father was
like,
stationed and had a mission in Burma.
Yep, the mission of the other... Yeah, like, not the original mission of Burma, not the band.
Yeah.
Who are, that's when I reach for my revolver.
I like the title of that song. Never listened to it, though. I've never heard it.
It is a really good song. Also, like, the two ones that everyone knows are That's When I Reach for My Revolver and Academy Fight Song, which both have, like, indelible choruses. The other one being... Because I'm not your academy.
Shredney, you know how sometimes CDs skip?
Oh, it's supposed to do that. It's repeated a lot.
Are you sure? Because I thought that maybe, like, you skipped.
No. That's how many times not is said in that chorus. Actually, that's only, like, half the chorus. I don't remember all the exact lyrics to it.
Wouldn't the robot here be the one that would be skipping, if anybody?
Beep boop.
Well, no, I'm glitching out. Like
The robot, the witch,
I'm
and the ferret.
Them video games.
You guys ever hear
I was
about
just
video games?
You hear about video games?
Video games.
Oh, what were you talking about, Trey?
I was just talking earlier on Tumblr about how the the little CAPTCHA buttons that are used to say, like, I'm not a robot on the internet.
Yeah.
I was saying those are pretty shitty Turing tests because, frankly, as a robot, and I didn't say it out loud.
Damn
in the
it,
post,
I
but
did it again.
But
I forgot to put the game up.
No!
You know, guys.
yikes.
No!
No.
I fixed it. Thank you, Win.
But yeah, I implied that I was a robot by saying, frankly, I can do that, and I'm probably better at it than most humans are. I can press a button.
Press a button on the left-hand side. Press a button.
My finger is on the button.
Yes.
Yep.
So what have you guys been up to this past week and earlier today?
It's like, yesterday I trolled a Nazi for 2 hours on Discord.
Shredney.
Nice. Doing God's work.
It was, initially it was alarming that, oh my god, this guy is actually a fascist. And then it was like, wow, you are so stereotypical, it's fucking hilarious.
Do you guys see that guy I retweeted on Twitter who is a Nazi, but, like, also doesn't think platypi are real?
What?
It might have been a joke, but if it was a joke, he was really committing.
Wow.
It's like,
wow.
it's so obviously sewn on. How do people not realize this? I'm like, all right, buddy.
Well, I mean, like, if you buy into enough conspiracy theories, eventually you'll start buying into one or two that really, really don't make sense.
I guess so. Hello, Dark Avra.
Hi,
Abracadabra.
Avra. That is my friend.
Hello.
Hello.
But yeah, like, seriously, this guy, he, like, so I mentioned, like, because a friend of mine who was on this particular server, I wasn't totally sure about the server, and I think that friend also left. Like, I meant, like, he posted a meme making fun of alt-right people, but I don't think the guy had actually gotten the joke. But, like...
That happens sometimes.
So I commented kind of, like, you know... about something that Millie had once said about how, like, alt-right ideology strikes me as super fucking depressing. And this guy, like, went totally nuts and accused me of being, like, a neoliberal sheep who, you know, and, like, and he sent me a link to Penty Licola.
Today's band name is the Neoliberal Sheep.
Yes.
Continue.
Like, to Penty Lincola's ecofascism, which I have heard of because I know a weird amount about, like, fringe right-wing people. And I was like, what? And he kept getting more and more bizarrely stereotypical, and I, like, just started, like, I straight up said, you are claiming that you want a reasoned debate, and yet you're making arguments that are just gibberish, and, I'm not going to even bother. I'm just going to make fun of you.
Yeah, I mean, at some point you reach the paradigm where someone's saying things that make so little internal sense that they can't even be called right or wrong. They just
it's
are
like
nonsensical.
his ideology made internal sense, but it relied on so much nonsense that it was like, are you real? Like, no, like, seriously, I wondered if this guy, like, you know, like, no, like, I mean... Like, I said it straight to his face. It's like, are you trying to get someone's goat? Because, like, you've managed to be, like, the most stereotypical far-right weirdo I've met in, like, ages. And, like, it was actually funny. And, I mean, he just got, like, he kept acting like, you're appealing to emotions and using ad hominems. And, you know, like, and I am so rational, essentially, you know. But he was clearly getting really mad and, like... It was really funny, and I just kept fucking with him for, like, 2 hours. Because it's just like, you are so easily baited. Oh my fucking god. Like
Baited.
You think you're the fucking Ubermensch, and you're like, Jesus Christ, man. And also it's like, you know, and him going on about, like, how neoliberalism is destroying the environment. And it's like, I don't even disagree with that, but the way you're framing it is blaming it on the Jews.
I would like to point out that we're not even 10 minutes into the show yet.
Yeah, like, it's just that it was so fucking surreal that, like, oh my god, that dude.
I mean, I guess the good thing about these discussions that we have is that, you know, we scare off anybody who's in the, like, gamer / covert, like, latent,
like,
fascist crowd pretty quickly.
Yeah, like Nazi gamers.
Yeah.
Or not even Nazi gamers, like, asshole gamers.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, because, like, something that I've just noticed, and I will say it again, is, like, those dudes, like that, like, far-right people who complain about other people being triggered are the most thin-skinned fucking people I've ever met in my life.
Yep.
They're, like, really easy to piss off and bait.
I mean, I have to go back to the guy I saw being, like, fucking furious on Twitter because of a platypus. Like...
Yeah!
It's a conspiracy created by Disney, and... yeah, Disney.
Just, like, I don't even know... some things, like, I get it. Like, there's, like, an internal amount... Like, there's, like, an internal logic going on. Like, if you think X, then, Y, Z, and so on don't seem quite as crazy. But I don't know what you have to believe before you get to platypi are a conspiracy of scientists. Like, I don't know how you get there.
I mean, flat earthers are a thing.
I guess, but I don't get that either. So, like...
I mean, to be fair, yeah. I mean, like, I think it's in the same camp as, like, people who deny that global warming is a thing.
Speaking of which, did you guys know that Kodak Black thinks the government controls the weather?
Kodak Black is...
It'd be hard to
like,
understand
aside
him
from
because his
being
jaw
a
keeps
huge
locking.
douchebag, he just... I don't know, man.
That's just like a weird... Like, there's some conspiracy theories that make some sense. Like, you can imagine why somebody would want to do the things in question.
Yeah, like even like the stuff about like the yeah, exactly. I totally fucking agree. I think most of us agree on that point. Abra is fuck Kodak Black.
I honestly
But,
don't know very much about, like, the whatever he
Yeah.
allegedly did, but I don't really like
he's
him
got,
either,
like,
so...
multiple like rape and sexual assault charges in multiple states.
Well, that's
Yeah.
not
Oh,
very
God.
good, no.
Yeah, he's
Kodak
great.
Kodak whack indeed.
Kodak whack indeed. But yeah, like, oh god, what was I gonna say? It's like, okay, crap, I lost my train of thought. I'm annoyed now.
That's okay.
God, like, I had something, like, vaguely witty to say, too. God damn.
That would be a first for our show.
Damn. Savage.
Hello, Heinz.
Destroyed.
Hi, Hans.
Hello. His
Yeah.
actions, whack. His belief, whack. His criminal record, whack. The way he doesn't even like to smile, whack. Us, we're tight as fuck.
I miss Vine. Hello, Burning Meat Stick, who has my favorite name that I've ever said hello to on the
Hello.
in the chat so
Burning
far.
Meat Stick.
Incredible.
Fuck, I wonder if it's someone I know.
It might be. I also put links in the Studio Trigger Discord and the trans tabletop thing that I moderate.
Yeah.
So it might
I
be
saw.
somebody from there. This
It's
is
on
also
my
my Reddit.
Tumblr
username.
and my Discord server too. So
So it could be coming from anywhere. Feel free to introduce yourself, or not. You don't have to. I'm not gonna make you. I'm from the trans tabletop Discord. Hello.
It's like, yeah. You're from where? I can't see the rest of that.
They are from the trans tabletop
Cool.
Discord, which is a server I moderate that it's like a meetup place for people who want to play like tabletop RPGs. Which reminds me
Oh,
that I
that's
am
neat.
going to be part of a Fate Accelerated campaign there soon, so that'll be fun.
Oh, yeah, it's like, oh my.
So, to answer your question, actually, no. All of us are in different places. We use Discord to talk over the internet and then stream that to Twitch.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's pretty
Like,
cool.
Like Jane and I are within like maybe 2 hours drive of each other, though.
Yeah, and then Trey's a bit further down the line.
Yeah, like Trey, where are you at currently?
Lexington, Kentucky.
I was just like making sure because sometimes you're not there.
Kentucky.
Yeah.
And it's
And-
like, so that's like, yeah, that's way further off.
And yes, we do screen share.
Yeah, it is fun.
It's
yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like, but yeah, but yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like,
To-
oh god, no, what I was saying was, like, I get, for example, why JFK conspiracy theorists exist. Like, right, I get that. But then there's other stuff where I'm with you, like, why? I guess it's because, like, people get so preoccupied with the idea they're being lied to that they just, like, assume everything must be a conspiracy.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Perhaps.
like this thing, therefore it is a conspiracy.
My favorite one that I've ever seen, and I've only seen it once, so I think the person who I saw say it might have been the inventor of it, was,
Oh, no.
this guy on Reddit, and I want to point out, for all the problems I have with r/anime, this guy had like 300 downvotes by the time I saw his post.
Oh,
But,
man.
The guy said, I'm trying to remember how exactly he worded it, but the gist of his argument was that, the reason that MOA anime had become popular was because the Chinese government was trying to make the male population of Japan complacent and less prone to reproducing, and that essentially that was a plot to eventually completely depopulate Japan so China could take over the islands.
What?
And this guy, if this guy was joking, he was committed. Because he was, like, arguing with people and everything. It
Honestly,
was great.
like, there are problems with Japanese society which have lowered the birth rate regarding, like, how, like, the whole work culture there has done way more to, like, make people not want to be in relationships, including women.
No, you don't
than
understand.
No anime ever will.
It's all Yuri's fault.
It's all, like, the fault of, like, K-On! Being popular. Also, K-On! Is, like, the most... It's bizarre. That's, like, one of the most popular shows in like, animated shows in Japan. Also, very popular with women.
Yeah.
Which I find kind of interesting.
K-On! Is interesting because the manga it's based off of is fucking terrible, but...
Oh, yeah, like, pretty much everyone seems to agree on that point.
Nobody likes the K-On! Manga.
I don't even think the mangaka likes the K-On! Manga.
Yeah.
Like, it's like...
Yeah.
Naoka Yamada did some heavy lifting there.
I can't believe MOA is a Chinese psyop.
Moa is a Chinese I just, like... It's just like... The layers there are amazing.
You have to be pretty deep in, like, down the internet rabbit hole to believe something like that sincerely.
Like, also, like, a deep misunderstanding of, like...
How anything in the world works? Yeah.
Yes, and also, like... And also kind of a distinct misunderstanding of, like, the whole relevance of, like, the moe concept in Japanese pop culture.
I mean that too, but there's like several
Like-
steps he had to take to even get there. Like
It's extraordinary.
like a fundamental misunderstanding of how the entire entertainment industry works, and also
Like, how salty is this guy that Fist of the North Star isn't still massively popular?
I don't know.
I wonder.
We live
'Cause
in
it's-
interesting times.
It's usually,
Kenshiro!
yeah, it's usually guys like, yeah, exactly. It's usually like guys like that who bitch about moe anime. You know, like it's like so fucking what if that like shoujo influence style is more common now? It's like
We actually had a
it's
guy on
stylist.
we actually had a
Yeah.
guy on the Trigger Discord today complaining about that, which is a weird place to do that, but whatever.
For a couple of reasons.
At least that guy wasn't a conspiracy theorist.
Oh my
though.
god, that anime snob voice. Oh no, that guy. That asshole. Oh
That
my
sounds
God.
like a guy who's just a bucket of fun.
Oh yeah, he's like some weird Italian dude who tries to play
Some weird Italian dude. That sounds like a YouTube name on its own.
it does. But he's like some weird Italian dude who like tries to essentially play like the equivalent of a wrestling heel to the anime community, and he's really an asshole about it.
That sounds like a bunch of different kinds of stupid.
It is. It is. It really is. Like,
Anyway,
the guy
yeah.
just, like, needs to give up his fucking shit. Jesus Christ.
The things you guys are willing to find on the internet.
No, I'm mainly aware of him from other people, like, telling me tales.
That guy
God.
with the body
That
pillow.
guy with the body pillow. Oh no.
No!
Actually, that reminds me that the one guy on the trigger cord who might be here, so I shouldn't talk poorly about him. Actually did buy a body pillow like a week ago.
Oh god.
I'm not even going to fucking judge.
Yago, friend of the channel, everybody.
Oh my.
Anyway.
Oh my lord.
So on a lighter note,
I mean...
I spent like a good chunk of today watching Katana Maidens again, which was...
Oh no!
Oh, Trey
Oh,
wasn't here
no.
for that last week. I'm gonna have to explain all this all over again.
Fuck, you're gonna have to explain Katana Maidens to Trey. Oh no!
Honestly, there's not very much to explain. It's just not a very good show.
Is it like not very good as in the type of stuff that you're embarrassed to watch, or not very good as in it's enjoyable, but it's enjoyable in a way that it isn't intended to be?
Like 50-50?
It's both, isn't it? Incredible.
Yeah, like, leaning on more heavily on one or the other depending on the episode. Although I will say the 5th episode was actually like within striking distance of good, so I don't know, maybe the show will get better at some point.
What? The what episode?
The 5th, the most recent one.
Okay, yeah, alright.
It was alright. They
I
actually...
assume it's a 13 episode series?
Nope, 24.
Oh, gee.
Yeah.
Well,
I
maybe
was
that
surprised
does-
too. And I also, because one of the things I mentioned with it last week was that part of the problem is that it just constantly, like, shotguns you with plot points and proper nouns. And I thought that maybe that was a result of trying to, like, adapt too much at once. But the manga that it's based on only started last year. And, like, late last year.
That's actually, one person who, like, this guy who, generally, like, these two guys, they normally talk about stuff like game design and things, but they occasionally do stuff about anime, and one of their things is judging anime by its cover. They refer to that kind of show with all the proper nouns as a darker than black, because darker than black is, like, the classic example. Like, where it's,
Never
like,
seen that, but...
all these fucking proper nouns, and it's like convoluted but kind of shallow at the same time.
That is about what I would describe Katana Maidens as right now. You know, for me, it's kind of a question of if it will manage to pull off being, like, enjoyably kind of, like, you know, trashy but not actually bad, as opposed to being terrible in a way that's funny. But,
yeah, there's a fine line between just enjoyably trashy and enjoyably trashy, but also really bad.
Like, only fun to watch because it's that terrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah. The fifth episode was pretty
like-
good. They actually, like, animated the fight scenes for once, which was pretty great.
Yeah, like, as, like Heinz was saying, I can't read the whole comment, but I think he said that he liked Darker Than Black when he saw it a while back.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I've heard it's, like, not bad, it's just that it has problems.
I also...
Brain Boys.
Which is a little different.
Brain Boys,
Brain.
yes. These things are a pain in the rear end. And they don't
When
count
says
as...
that-
Say ass, Jane.
What?
Say ass.
I swear all the time on this show. Get off my back.
Quinn says I used to claim DTB was my favorite anime. Aw.
Oh.
What's the one? No, I'm thinking of Black Lagoon. Never mind. I also spent a good chunk of earlier, like an hour or so before the stream started, listening to anime opening and closing songs
Mm-hmm.
because I want to start downloading those on my computer. Because what always happens is I really like the intro song of an anime and then I never remember to get it, so I forget about it like a year after the show airs.
Anything by Flo in there?
What have they done? I don't remember off the top of my head.
I know that they did the opening to Code Geass and then Eureka 7, and Eureka 7's opening, by the way, is like my favorite anime theme song basically like ever. Just the first one, not the other ones. Although the other ones they span from like being okay to decent, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But the first one, man.
God, I think my favorite opening theme to an anime series is probably the opening to the Tommy Galaxy by Asian Kung Fu Generation. Just
That's a very good name for a group. This has actually been like a really good season for ending songs more than
cool.
OPs. I really like the one from Darling in the Franxx. I really like the one from Further Than the Universe, and I really like the one from Katana Maidens. Actually, it's one of the best things about the show.
Endings do often get neglected, but they can be really good.
Yeah.
Gosh, I still haven't gotten the chance to see any of Darling in the Franxx yet.
It's really good.
It's like I get the having seen a little bit more animation and stuff from it. It looks good.
Yeah.
It's
not
a
something
nice show.
I would recommend to everybody, but
It's an
very good.
advanced anime show.
You have to have a pretty high IQ to understand Darling in the Franxx.
Goodness.
They also banned it in China yesterday.
Oh my.
That, and there was another one, Slow Start, I think.
Why did
Indicators of quality.
I guess the Chinese government wants to crack down on, was it like sexual deviancy in animation or something?
Wait, why is I don't know a ton about Slow Start, but isn't it there's like this girl who's like a year behind in school?
I think there's like a Yuri element to it. That might be why.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's...
And in fact, if I had to take a guess, it's probably not so much the weird mecha stuff that got Darling in the Franxx banned, but more the scene in episode 3 where O2 licks Ichigo.
Oh my. That's,
China is anti-mecha titty.
I mean, not wrong.
Where's the lie?
Gosh.
China is against a lot of things, and I wouldn't be surprised if mechs with the ladylike form are
among them.
Among the things on their general shit list.
So, Jane,
yes.
You mentioned that you were going to be doing a fake campaign earlier, right?
Yes.
So the folks at the radio station, a couple of my coworkers and everything. Oh, by the way, I got a new job. I'm working at the radio station now.
Nice.
But yeah, a couple of them actually have a radio show that they do each week where they're like going through a fake campaign and everything.
Well,
I heard them I heard them recording like a speech bit thingy that they're doing for this week's episode.
That's cool. Yeah, ours is one of the other mods on the server. Amy is running it, and it's going to be a superhero setting. And my character's thing is she has a magical tarot card that gives her one of 22 superpowers at random, but she can't pick which one.
I saw that. That was fun.
Yes.
Nice.
And I also bought a drawing of her, which should be done sometime this week. So that'll be nice.
Cool.
Hmm.
Fireball.
Fireball. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire.
Incredible.
Interesting thing is, did you know that actually in the original game of Tarot, as initially described, while the world is a higher numbered card, judgment actually trumps the world?
I'm sure there's some kind of intended meaning behind that, but that's interesting.
Oh yeah, there is. It has to do with the fact that, like, tarot cards' meaning is, like, very heavily, like the original Marseille Tarot, it's very clearly satirical and, like, in a very specifically medieval way. And it's, like, that's why, like, monks and stuff, like the guy who first described tarot is like, it's the devil's instrument. Because it's like, it's clearly satirizing the monarchy and the church.
Interesting.
Do you think that...
what'd you say, Trey?
Do you think that that's part of the reason why it's grown this, like, historical connotation of being, like, otherworldly and unholy or whatever?
I mean, that's part of it. It's also the fact that in general, cards have been used as a divination tool for a really long time. Although actually, like, tarot specifically, not as much. But, like...
Actually, the diamond part in the name of Diamond Fish Records, which, for anybody watching, is my little, like, music group that I founded and Trey is also a part of, and Shredney also a part of. The diamond part in that comes from a thing I did for fun once. There's, like, horoscopes that use, like, a different system. It gives you, like, a suit and a card number based on when you were born in the calendar year. And mine was the Jack of Diamonds.
Yeah, like, the main difference between, like, the... Well, what's his face? Was it, like, there's the Rider-Waite Tarot deck, but I can't remember which of those is actually the guy's last name.
I think it is Rider.
Yeah,
Waite
I believe
is
it,
like
yeah,
the
Rider.
illustrator or something.
Well, like, the one who wrote about it, like, what he called the Minor Arcana, which are the suits, are basically identical, but, like, older versions of the classic suit of cards. The main difference is the inclusion of a Cavalier or Knight, set between the Jack and the Queen.
Yeah.
Which I think would be kind of interesting to play something like poker with.
You could probably... in fact, I would be surprised if there wasn't, like, sort of more minor games that use the tarot decks you buy from, like, a New Age shop or whatever.
Or even, like, I mean, in France they have ones that, like, look like the other sort of playing cards that are intended to play tarot or taroki, which is, like, there's a reason why, the major arcana are trump cards, like, they're meant to override other suits. And their various numbers have, significance to the game.
Yeah.
I don't know very much about Tarok or Taroki or Tarot, the game.
I believe it's, like, vaguely similar to, what is it called? Crazy Eights. Like, it's the same sort of family, I think, but I'm not 100% sure.
Interesting.
I read a Wikipedia article on this a while ago, and I've forgotten most of what I learned.
Like, I mean, like, the game goes back in one form or another to, like,
say you're gay.
the 1400s. Although, interestingly enough, like, poker is one of the most common modern card games, and it only really, like, it's actually pretty recent. It's like specifically a Louisiana thing originally that was used. Originally, it only used like 20 cards out of the deck.
I actually was at one point like fairly good at Omaha Hold'em, which is like one of the variants of poker that nobody fucking plays anymore. My stepdad taught me how to play, actually.
I used to be decent at Texas Hold'em.
Yeah, well, Texas Hold'em's like the big one.
Yeah, that's the big one. And then there are a lot of variations.
Yeah. Omaha...
Wynn says, I'm going to start saying tarot like carrot. Jesus.
I mean, like, technically the English form of it is Tarek, actually.
Which is the name of my superhero character from the...
Yeah, Tarek. And it came into English pretty early, like 1500s, 1400s, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like directly from Italian. Like, it's old.
To rock you like a hurricane.
To rock you like a...
So, bit of an aside here.
Go on.
I was gonna make a joke about Bedrock. Except...
Call me Ryder. Call me Ryder. Wait, because I'll make your tear rock.
Gotta.
Yeah.
Grocery bag.
Gotta.
Grocery bag.
And I got her. Grocery bag. Baby.
I actually, unironically, fucking love that song.
That
is great.
I don't care what anybody says.
Really,
yeah,
he's a really good singer, and like the song itself is pretty good, I guess.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's also
better from all the artists involved, except Gutta Gutta. That's probably
actually no. Gutta Gutta's kind of made like on the more recent Lil Wayne
comeback.
Yeah, like on the more recent Lil Wayne stuff, he tends to have really good verses now. There's a song from last year that he did that he was on that I really like this verse. I'll have to look it up at some point.
Such interesting minutiae.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's also this really good video I found like a couple weeks ago. Something I like to do like once a month. I don't really do it on purpose, it just kind of happens. But I end up like listening to a lot of old songs from when I was younger, older songs from when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And I found a really great live performance of Bedrock by everyone in Young Money except Lil Wayne. I guess he just like couldn't be there that day. So what they did was they like took turns saying the different lines in his verse. And then when they got to Gutta Gutta's verse, he did the first part of the grocery bag line, and then he does the thing where you hold out the microphone to the crowd. And everybody yelled grocery bag.
Yeah.
I actually, he gets major points for that. Like, just like, I know it's a meme, and I'm okay with that.
He's aware. And that wasn't like a recent video, too. Videos from like when the song was new. What were you gonna say, Trey?
Wow.
I saw a power-up in the game earlier that shared a name with a Bjork album.
What was that?
Voltaic.
Oh, yeah, that's the, like...
Electricity just slows you down, I think it was the perk.
It, like, makes you not hurt by the electricity beams.
But yeah, Voltaic is, if I'm not mistaken, the Volta live album.
Yeah. I actually was surprised to figure out that it's Oh So Quiet, the version of it that everybody is familiar with, was by Bjork. I wasn't aware of that until like last week.
Huh. I mean, I knew it. I knew that her version, of course, was a cover of like a much older song.
Yeah.
But I mean, I knew because I knew about that song because of Bjork.
Yeah.
You know, like uh, that's on her debut. Well, not her debut because technically her debut was when she was like 11.
It's on
And
Coast.
She was
It's-
part of the
it's on
Sugar
Coast.
Cubes, right? Or whatever
Oh yeah,
the
she
Yeah.
was on,
band
well,
was called.
actually, she was in Tapi Tikaras, then in Kukul, which became the Sugar Cubes, and then she did a jazz album with a group, this group, called Bling Blow, and then she went solo.
Yeah.
Is Bjork a name that other people have, or is
Yeah,
that
Bjork.
just her thing?
Björk is a name that is, it's like not super common, but it is a known Icelandic
Okay.
first name.
I just wasn't
her-
sure.
Technically, her full name is Björk Gottmansdottir, because her dad was named Gottman.
Mm-hmm. Oh
But
yeah,
the
they
thing
still
is-
do like old style patronymics in Iceland,
Oh yeah, like
forgot
like
about
people
that.
just know you by your first name.
and then
They don't
whatever
really-
whatever your dad's name was, if that's relevant. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so you're like, you know,
I'm glad we don't do
see-
that here because I'm not trying to get stuck with the last name Keithson or Keithstein. It just doesn't sound good.
yeah, like,
yeah.
I mean, you also get like,
Hello,
like,
yes, my name is Manuel Manuelson.
oh man, or well, I think I've actually heard Sigurðarson.
Yeah, that's not that rare. I don't think it also shows up in Crusader Kings constantly
Yeah,
because medieval
that
stuff.
makes sense. And that actually is also true in a lot of names in the Arab world. Is that they'll
Yeah,
have and they get really elaborate because they'll like list people back to your like great grandfathers sometimes.
Wow.
Like if you're in like a really old well off family, then like they'll like refer to like like what your family is called, but not in the context of your name. Like it's the house of whatever.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole thing with the House of Saud, But like if you actually get the individual names, it's like, Abdullah ibn so and so, etc.
That's how like on the rare occasion we do like really big family reunions. That's how my family like books halls and stuff. It's as Humensburg Vogelskopf, which is not a last name any of us actually have anymore. It's like what our family was called in like the 1800s.
Yeah, it's like they get very like the like actually the family that Muhammad was from were the known as the Hashemites.
I actually
huge.
knew that because Muhammad is in the history files of Crusader Kings 2.
Huh.
He's also
Yeah,
the
like-
only character in the entire game who does not have a portrait. There's like a little green badge where his face would normally
Yeah.
be.
Like the Hashimi, which means those who break, as a reference to the fact that they would break unleavened bread for pilgrims who visited Mecca.
Interesting.
Good to know that they have respect for that kind of thing.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
this tells you a lot about what the Crusader Kings fan base is like, at least the worst parts of it. A lot of people, like, got really mad about that when that game came out. Because people have
stupid.
nothing
I
better
mean-
to do. And it's like, it's not something that you even will know unless you bother to go into the family
The files.
tree for the
Yeah.
Caliph of the Caliph of Baghdad, and go back like 20 generations.
Way back, yeah. Like, and I mean, it is worth noting that like Aniconism was in like it actually did for a long time depend on the sect of Islam you were in, because there are depictions from Iran of Muhammad, specific descriptions of him, like in I guess I don't know what you would call it, canon essentially, like of what he looked like, and he was portrayed as such in Iran at one point.
Yeah.
Because they have a much stronger sort of
visual art thing.
Yeah, like a visual art tradition, and were kind of like less orthodox in that respect. Whereas like a lot of the iconistic leanings,
no,
like arguably it's really similar to, in sort of the same, there's like an element of that in Judaism about like the reasoning behind why idols are avoided is because you can't
Yeah? Shredney!
You there?
Shredney!
I think we might have lost our ferret.
They struck him down! Oh no.
But he will rise.
He'll be back. Let me check Discord actually. Maybe he like sent a message or something.
Hello?
Hello?
Hey.
Hello?
You
It just
returned.
cut out in the middle of the word God, I assume.
Yeah, I think like Jehovah struck you down or
Represent.
something, yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like but yeah, like the basic
Nope.
idea is like is like that, it's also like evident in the descriptions of angels in Ezekiel, is the whole thing of that like angels are sort of the substance of God in a sense, like they're messengers of God. So they
Substance of
represent-
God, second band name of the day.
Huh.
I have a
So,
good
like-
ear for those. That's like my one talent.
And like you make pretty good music as well.
I know, I'm just joking.
But yeah, so yeah, it's like, so hence the whole thing, a face of an eagle, face of a man, face of a lion, wings,
And
that
there,
sort of
oh
thing.
my.
It's like representing all that lives at once. It's like
The
a
four
glimpse
categories of creature, yes.
the divine. I mean,
I'm just being a dick.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, like,
uh,
yeah.
Johnny Cash was
I'm not
right.
down anymore. I'm alive.
uh,
I'm alive.
he looked back and was turned to salt.
Well, I mean,
You ever wonder why salt? Probably like some
uh,
symbolic reason.
I mean, there are also pillars of salt in like deserts and things that often look like people.
Pillars
I mean,
of salt, pillars of sand.
Where's that
There's
from? I know that
a
lyric.
reason for it.
Viva La Vida by Coldplay.
Yeah, that's a good song.
I don't remember much about it. Viva La
Do
Vida.
do 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 do. That's probably their best song for my money.
It's like actually one of my favorite songs because I sung it in a talent show in the 6th grade and people liked me after that.
Oh,
It didn't before.
Cool.
Yeah.
um,
Which is ironic because the whole point of the song is about
a guy that like
a
loses all of his
a fallen king.
Yeah.
Yeah.
his influence and friends and yeah.
Okay, so there was like my last year of high school, the talent show and the battle of the bands together, because not enough of people attended either. And unfortunately we got cut off before I was able to perform the song In Heaven from the film Eraserhead while wearing a muumuu.
That's a very Shredney thing to do.
And yeah, it would have been, or no, I think we couldn't find a muumuu that actually fit me, so I was going to wear like this amazing shawl and sing, "In heaven, everything is fine. yeah, it was gonna be good. But unfortunately, they cut us off right before that. But we did get to play 2 songs, and people who even weren't there who saw it like in my English class, they were like looking at YouTube because it was the end of the year, and it's like we're all seniors, and it's like, so what?
Yeah,
and,
you know.
Yeah.
and they were like, this is cool, and it's like
There were 2 highlights from my talent show, but I'll save it. You continue.
But yeah, that was it was weird to go from being like gradually over the course of 4 years to go from being that weird kid to that weird kid that everybody likes for some reason.
I don't know. I had like a small group of friends in high school, but beyond that, I think everybody just kind of tolerated me because I never did much.
Eh.
I had this
Yeah.
guy though that like, do you guys know what a snake bite is? The like annoying thing that kids do to each other.
Not really.
All right,
No.
so
I've heard the term before.
Explain, Jane.
basically, I'm gonna need you to take your pointer finger and your middle finger and stick them together, and just kind of make like a hook with your fingers.
Uh-huh.
And then you basically try to pinch somebody between the knuckles of your 2 fingers. It hurts like a motherfucker. And there was
yeah.
this kid named Cole. And for whatever reason, teachers always seemed to put him directly behind me in class. So he would do this to me constantly. And I don't know why. Like, I didn't have anything against the guy, and he didn't really seem to have anything against me either. It's just, he liked pinching me for some reason. It was really bizarre, and also it hurt a lot.
Kids are obnoxious.
Yeah, he works at like a security firm now, I think, which is pretty weird. But, whatever. But, what I was gonna... Oh, go on.
As far as my like high school experience went, I kind of had the same thing, like a combination of you two actually, where I went from being that weird kid to that weird kid everybody liked, but also nobody was particularly like empathetic enough about like distinctly hating people. Everybody just kind of tolerated each other.
My high school
Like-
started
At least
like
in my
that.
experience, yeah.
Started like that, and then like around my 3rd year, people started like splintering into groups and being way more cliquey. Part of it was the like, I don't mean to be rude, but like the redneck kids started picking on the couple like people we had in school. To clarify, I go in school in the middle of the fucking woods, or went to school in the middle of the fucking woods, so it was mostly white people. And they started kind of like picking on the couple like non-white kids in the school, and it got really tense the last year of school. And most of those rednecks ended up dropping out. So, I don't know.
So
There
who's
was,
the
like-
real winner here?
There was like some big fight. I wasn't there for it, but there was like some big fight. I guess Sari, who was an Egyptian girl, or maybe her name was just Sarah. I actually don't remember now. But apparently she punched somebody in the face, and there was like a huge brawl. I don't know. I wasn't there for it.
I'm just remembering, like, I saw from, so there was like there were actually 2 courtyards in my high school, or sort of courtyard. There was one that was essentially an indoor courtyard with like a skylight over as a roof area that was directly next to the cafeteria, and there was like, like a window that formed the wall to the cafeteria, right?
Yeah.
And like, I remember being out in that sort of area, which did have some lunch tables. People would sometimes eat lunch there, and like, like play hacky sack, do dumb kid things.
Hacky
And
sack.
I mean, but then, so, like, in the main cafeteria once, these 2 girls went the fuck at it. Like they just like there were two uh young black women with like braided hair and like ripping at each other's hair.
Oh,
Oh no.
And they both had like long fake nails
that sounds really painful.
And they were like flinging each other around at the like on the lunch tables and shit, like, and like the security people had to break them up. It was
yeah. I don't know, fights in my school, like the brawl that I mentioned was very unusual.
Oh yeah, this wasn't like super common.
Yeah,
this
like,
was just like wild.
Usually when people fought in my school, it wasn't actually in school, it was like they would go, you know, meet at the park after school, and they would just kind of push each other around. You've seen kids fight. Like, they don't really like fight, they just kind of like sort of pseudo wrestle. You know what I'm talking about?
I mean, yeah, like young kids especially.
Where they like kind of try to throw each other to the ground, but they're not actually doing a very good job of it.
I once got into a... This is the only time I've ever actually gotten into sort of a fight with a kid. I tried to swing at him, but he was short. And he, like, punched me a couple times in the stomach, but I was wearing a thick coat, and I was twice his size. Like, he was, like, skinny and, like, really fast. And, like, but, like, so I barely registered it. And then... like we both, and then somebody came by and we were both like, we're not doing anything. That was the only time I ever got into a fight. I later, like the guy was always kind of an asshole, but at the same time we like became
School
like
sucks, yeah,
quasi-friendly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're getting at.
Like we got
in
the
that
fuck
weird
over
zone
it.
where you didn't like
That was like
particularly hate each other or anything, but you weren't like friends either.
Yeah, nah, he was a dweeb.
That was like the last like few months ish of school after all of the troublemakers had kind of stopped coming to school. Was just everybody was kind of, you know, at least semi cool with each other.
Uh-huh.
Which takes me back to what I was going to talk about earlier, which was my school never had a regular talent show. In fact, I'm pretty sure that the one we did in my senior year was the only one they ever did. Largely, they just didn't really have the budget for it. But the one physics teacher, who I actually still talk to sometimes, one of the very few people in my school I still am in contact with. The guy's name is Mr. Klanzik. He does like a lot of stuff around the community. But he wanted to get a talent show going, so he volunteered to do like all of the work himself. So most of that was just, you know, pretty typical silly kid stuff.
Yeah.
There were two highlights though. One was like very genuinely sincere and like probably the closest thing to school pride I've ever felt. I'll talk about that one in a second. The other one was a guy named Mike did a parody of Gucci Gucci by Krayshawn.
You ain't no Barbie. I see you work at Arby's.
Which he rewrote to be about studying.
Incredible.
It was the funniest fucking thing. And like... people in our school got it, but like I live in one of those dumb small towns where there's like, there's a rivalry with the school in the other small town 10 minutes away.
Oh yeah.
And I guess the video somehow made its way over there, and everybody, like people didn't realize it was a joke, I guess.
Oh dear.
Yeah. But the other one, which was like you know, sincerely really cool, was one of the seniors was a guy named Billy, and he had a pop punk band called the Boston Fresco. Okay. And they performed like a full-on set at the end of the talent show because they couldn't find anybody else to do the rest of the stuff. They did a couple Green Day covers, I think, and then they did an original song where Billy brought out his dad, who was the school's like music teacher, to like do trumpet on backup. That was pretty cool.
Pretty fucking awesome.
The video of that, there was one video of the original song they did that might still be on YouTube, and I will try to find it after the show if somebody reminds me. Because it's actually like a really good song. And I don't think it ever got recorded. Like, I think that was the only time they ever performed it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm remembering, there is, as I've noted, video of this on YouTube, but like, when we played that last Battle of the Bands, we opened by doing this song that my friend Jeff had written called Mosquito. And I didn't really have an instrument to play during it, so what I did was I did a essentially performance art where I was sitting at the keyboard and I had a newspaper and I started to act like I was being attacked by a mosquito. And then Jeff emerged, playing the bass, because the bass is the lead instrument in the song, wearing a pair of fairy butterfly wings, like a giant mosquito. And then I attacked him with a newspaper.
Can I interject? Can I interject? Because,
yes.
And then Jeff emerged is maybe the funniest sequence of words that have ever been on this show. And then Jeff emerged.
Yeah, he
sounds like
wings, which is funnier because he was wearing wings as well.
Also, like, I want to point out that you didn't like lead into that at all. I don't know who Jeff is.
Jeff is a friend of mine who played bass in the band I was in.
Jeff emerged.
Yeah, and like, he was one of those people who seemed super normal until you actually got to know him, and he was into like weird shit, like he was really into a Marina Abramovich for a while.
I don't know what that is.
So, the Serbian performance artist who did that thing with like oh god, what are some examples of Marina Abramovich? Her stuff's freaky.
He was into performance art, though, is the core.
Yeah, like, so he was the one.
I guess
he was the one. Like, he was the one who was like, you know, like he'd come up with stuff
cool.
like that, and yeah, and like we would, you know, collaborate on that. And it's like, yeah, he's, yeah, currently he works for the Liquor Control Board and is, I think, a member of the Green Party.
He works for the Liquor Control Board?
In Pennsylvania.
The state liquor control
generally,
board.
like, you know, various jobs at various liquor stores goes around.
Yeah, no. I know what the liquor control board is. I just didn't know that like that was staffed by real people. I figured it was all robots or something.
No, it's like, you know, like
I'm just fucking around.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, like yeah. But yeah, it's like that was and then we launched into, after that, a song where I sing about murdering somebody in a snowy tree field, like a copse of trees.
A cop of trees?
Copse.
What's a copse?
C-O-P-S-E. You know, like a circle of trees.
I thought that was pronounced copse.
Oh.
Is it?
No,
is
it's
it
copse, I'm pretty sure.
I thought we were talking about, like, tree police for a second there.
No. But yeah, like, the song "Night," which we'd been like doing different versions of that song for like years, and we had my friend Randy, who plays viola, on.
Shout out to Jeff and Randy, friends of the channel.
Yes. They I may or may not, like, depending upon circumstances, like, they are rooming together somewhere, and I might be, like, you know, like, move into their attic.
That'd be cool.
What is it with you and attics?
No, but seriously, it's a free room, it's decent size.
He's
and,
the
like,
attic goblin.
Yeah, like, I fucking love attics. My dude, like, my whole thing
attics
when I
are
was
cool.
a kid was that I always look for hidden or out of the way rooms, basements, and attics. That was my thing when I was a kid.
Basements and Attics, band name number 3.
Basements and Attics. That is actually a damn good band name. Probably like, I'm thinking like one of those sort of post-rocky emo bands.
I was like thinking like maybe lo-fi folk or something like.
Well, I mean like with like
Songs
I
Ohio
think,
or something.
Like with like a lo-fi kind of folk influence, like, you know, that sort of thing where it's like fairly structurally complex but very skeletal sounding.
Like Slint or something.
A little, but like more homespun kind of.
Gotcha.
Like,
Also,
like,
don't let me referencing Slint trick anybody into thinking I know anything at all about post-rock.
Slint are... I generally make the half joke that Slint are my favorite screamo band.
They do have that one song that's like, "Do you wanna die?"
No, that's no. Do you want to die? That's the Toadies.
No, that's a different song with that same lyric. Maybe it's something else. I thought that what he was saying was "Do you want to die," or like something about the sky. I don't remember. It's been a very long time since I heard Spiderland.
Nosferatu Man has some weird stuff in it.
That might be it. I actually
the one that has the riff that goes.
So here's a funny anecdote about Slint. Actually,
Yeah.
At one point I had Spiderland on my computer, and I actually deleted it because at one point I fell asleep to my music on shuffle, and I still had my headphones on, like my entire library, and I woke up to. It might have been Nosferatu Man. It was one of the creepy ones, basically.
Donna Man.
Sure. You know.
So is
2/3
Captain.
So like 2/3 of the album, you know.
Yeah.
But I woke up to that at like 2 at night, and that was fun.
Oh Jesus! Like I never, like waking up to either Donna Man or Good Morning Captain at 2 at night would probably scar me, because like. Dawn Man, almost nothing happens in Dawn Man. It's just the darkest, most dispiriting, depressing, tense thing ever.
Do they have other records, or is that just
Yeah,
Spiderland?
they have one other one, Tweez, which is very different sounding, which was their first record. It was recorded like 2 years before or something, 3 years. And like they changed a lot in that. Well, actually, it might have been even earlier than, but it was like 87 or 89. And then in 1991, they dropped Spiderland, and it apparently was a really tense recording session, and like people like at least one of the members at one point checked himself into a mental hospital. It was bad juju.
Slint is like one of those bands where like the front man is kind of a dick, right? Or am I mistaken?
No, I don't remember if he's still alive. He had serious depression issues.
Okay.
Like actually several of the band members did.
I honestly, like, for whatever reason, whenever I get into like a hip hop thing, I always look up like the backstory and stuff, but for rock music, I often find myself just not doing that for whatever reason. So I get bands confused a lot, and like personnel and
Slint, David Pajo. He dealt with a lot of like serious mental illness stuff.
That's sad.
Which is part of the reason why the band didn't make like a third record.
Yeah.
He did have another band for a while, the Four Carnation, which I've heard some of their record. It's decent. But yeah, for a long time he just was out of the spotlight as much as possible. Kind of like similar sort of situation to Jeff Mangum, but more so.
Which one's Jeff Mangum again?
Neutral Milk Hotel.
Ah, okay.
Like
in the airplane over the sea.
Did not deal with being famous and was like, "Fuck this."
He's good now, right? Though, because I thought they they started touring again recently or something.
Oh yeah, he was doing better, and then they reunited for a while and broke up again.
Okay.
but it was on like, like not
Friendly
terrible.
terms. Okay.
Yeah, it was like they were just like, yeah, we're done.
As far
It's
as
fine.
I can tell, all the members of Slint are alive. Thank you for the detective work, Hines.
Ah, good,
And
good.
that is good, yeah.
I was worried about Dave Pajo for a while.
I
Uh,
sometimes get worried about random musicians too. It's okay.
yeah, like
Yo, that reminds me that fucking DMX is going back to jail, and I'm really sad about that because he
ooh,
was doing good for a while,
ouch.
but he like got caught
Yeah.
with something in his car, I think.
Oh, ouch. But yeah, like the thing was like with Slint, why I say they're like, my favorite screamo band is the fact is they really are like a proto screamo band. Like in specifically that school that's like bands like Envy, where it's like those long, spacious songs,
Would
where
you
it's like there's
describe
a
them as a primo screamo band?
but tish.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry,
Um,
had to get the dumb joke quota filled up.
but yeah, like yeah, in that kind of vein, like Envy or Suffocate for fuck's sake, who have one hell of a name.
Yeah. Um, sorry about
Ooh,
that.
something bad happened.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Uh,
Anyway, yeah, I've been trying to keep the show like a little bit more lighthearted recently
yeah.
because I worry that we'll like get a reputation as not being fun to watch. Oh no, it's not a
Ah,
problem. It's just not something I want to actually discuss on air.
oh, fair. Yeah,
Um,
it happens. I feel like I feel like we are fun to watch, and like every once in a while we bring up like weird things.
yeah,
It's just like
like Toynbee tiles.
Toynbee tiles are definitely a thing.
You know, Mac Miller made a song about those once. Not like a
Huh.
vocal song, but it was like an instrumental where he sampled a guy talking about them.
There was one of those in an intersection because like I lived really close to like the part of Northeast Philadelphia that's like the really sort of like the kind of like suburban part of Northeast Philadelphia,
Hmm.
like with Rising Sun Boulevard, and there's an intersection there. I can't remember if it's where Cotman hits Rising Sun or something like that, which had Toynbee tiles there.
Hello, Jin.
Hi.
How you doing, buddy?
Yeah. So like, yeah, like what was I gonna? Yeah.
Toynbee
Um.
tiles.
Yeah, like yeah, Randy once pointed it out to me, and it was like, oh, cool. It's like I think one of the furthest out in Philadelphia per se. Like I know that they're in a few other cities.
Well, there was one in like Brazil once, wasn't there?
Yeah, like I mean, like if I'm not mistaken, like most of them are in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Isn't it like Philadelphia and like some other city have like the highest concentration?
Yup.
I can't remember which though.
Is this like a fast food place? Or
Oh, no. Yeah, it would probably be help if we fucking explained what they were, huh?
Toynbee tiles
Yeah.
are these weird little like ceramic tiles that are put into like the street at like crosswalks by nobody's sure who that say things.
Yeah, something about resurrecting the dead on Jupiter with a supercomputer, I think.
It's
They're
like
pretty
there's a
fucking
lot of-
weird.
there's a lot of weird stuff going on with those. Yeah,
Yeah.
like they're little fragmentary sentences and things on these
Yeah.
things.
That's
And it's
one of those things where like people are just, shrug.
There are a lot of like
Okay.
weird conspiracy theories about it, but they're like not like the hardcore conspiracy theories. They're more like,
Later, Jin.
yeah. See you. Wait, what? Oh yeah. Okay. Like yeah, Toynbee tiles are peculiar. Like it's probably the work of the same person or group of people, but nobody's really sure.
I mean, yeah, as long as you knew how to make one, anybody could do it, I guess.
Anybody could do it, but at the same time, like, there are some that, like, clearly seem to be by the same person within the same period in a couple of places. I think it's mainly Philadelphia and, like, a handful of other places. And they all seem to show up at this particular time originally. And, like, yeah, they're odd. I quickly have to use the restroom.
Okay.
I shall be back momentarily.
How you holding up, Trey?
Anyway,
I'm surviving, you know.
We have yet, 10:17. We have yet to begin.
I've been eating Cheez-Its.
Can I have some?
Oh yeah.
Also,
Yes. I'm going.
later.
I'm going to just digitally send you some Cheez-Its over Discord. See you soon.
I had some yesterday, so I shouldn't complain.
What disappoints me a little bit is that they're the original flavor, which is fine. But I tend to prefer the white cheddar ones, and they don't have the white cheddar ones at the store that's under my apartment. Well, not my apartment, my dorm. They don't have them at the store in the big bag. They only have them in the small little grab and go bags, which
That's disappointing.
I could get a bunch of those, but it's more of a hassle than just having the big grab bag.
Yeah. This is how I reveal that I am literally the lamest person of all time. My favorite flavor my favorite flavor of Cheez-It is actually the low-fat regular ones, because they're more crunchy.
That's fair.
How do
you feel about cheese nips?
They're okay. I like Cheez-Its better. But they're alright.
I used to think that they were an unholy abomination upon this simple earth, but since I turned 15, I think my opinion has since mellowed.
The only kind of crackers in that vein that I don't like at all are, and I don't know if you've ever had them, because I think they're mostly like an East Coast thing, but like a Northeast thing. But, Busy Baker crackers?
No.
Alright. So Busy Baker is, a generic brand that serves Dollar Tree and some other places. And they were fine for a long time, and then they changed the flavor formula they use, and now they're like sweet almost. It's weird.
That's unusual.
Yeah.
Also, I wanted to mention that I really like the power.
Actually, I'm
going
to quickly grab some tea, just so you know.
Okay.
Okay.
Super quickly.
What'd you say, Trey?
Yeah. I really like the power-up rooms, like the animation that they've got for it with the, like, arm thingies sucking the ship into the pod thing, and then how it goes, so be it, after you grab each one.
The, like, atmosphere in this game is surprisingly good for an $8 shoot-'em-up title. Not shoot-'em-up, arena shooter title.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
What?
Got some Portal shooting action shit going on.
Yeah, the portals are kind of a mixed bag, because some rooms they really add to the layout, and other times I feel like they just kind of get in the way. Sort of depends.
That's fair. Yeah. So, what kind of confuses me in some cases is like how the water works, because it like kind of gives you the idea that it's like all happening on a 2D plane, but then like the water shows up in certain rooms and it's all like flat on one angle that's like completely different from the rest, I guess.
Yeah, that is now that you point that out, actually, that is kind of odd. I don't know.
I mean, it's not. it's not a big enough thing
No,
to
no, no.
break the
Yeah.
suspension of disbelief or anything, but it is still pretty weird.
If you were looking for like a Watsonian explanation, it might be like some kind of anti-gravity chamber holding the water in place.
Maybe so.
Because there is stuff, that flies around, including the main character, who is not actually, like a ship that is piloted. He is, like, that is him. He
Yeah,
is
that's
like
the ship.
a little ship boy.
Yeah, cool.
His name is
We love our
B13.
Hey.
Yeah. I like it.
So let's. Yeah. Sentient ships are good. Things.
They are. There's not too many of those. There's there's this character. There's the things from Twinbee. And there's Opa Opa from Fantasy Zone, and I think that's all that I can think of.
I don't know if I can name off any off the top of my head, although I do like the idea of it, certainly.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So, how's the music stuff been coming?
Good. I think I mentioned this briefly on a show a while back, but I'm doing a full length with Stripes Solid, who's a rapper that I've collaborated with several times.
I do remember hearing about that.
Yeah.
Guess that's been going swimmingly and stuff.
Yeah. And as like a side project from that, I released like a kind of like a chiptune-y thing yesterday actually. With like a whole fictional backstory behind it, and that was fun.
Yeah. I'll have to take a listen.
It was fun to make, and I hope it's fun to listen to.
As far as stuff has gone for me, I haven't gotten too far as far as production stuff on Battery Life, but I continue to I'm continuing to think about how I'm gonna handle this song thingy that I put together, like the verses for, where it's like kind of rap verses, I guess. Mm-hmm. I don't want it to be nerdcore-y, like. Oh wow.
You okay, Shredney?
I'm fine. I just moved the tablet.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't want.
Here.
I don't want it to sound like nerdcore, but I feel like that's probably how it's going to end up feeling, just because the way that my voice sounds kind of has like a very a very nasal sort of quality to it that doesn't really make you feel like I'm a gangster or anything like that.
Well, I don't know. Eazy-E had a really high-pitched voice.
That's fair.
Yeah, they're like, like it really.
But
it's all in the inflection, I think.
The other thing I was gonna say is I think you could honestly do worse, like, because nerdcore is kind of like making a slow comeback thanks to people like Samus and them, and obviously Mega Ran still putting out music, but yeah. Samus released a really good record in 2016 that more people should listen to. Surprised it wasn't more popular, because Pitchfork reviewed it, and they gave it a good score, too, which is not common for, like, backpacker projects these days with them.
Wynn says the Culture series has sentient starships.
Yes.
Cool.
I felt that the second one was too long.
That is not... Jane, no. Jane, no. We're not talking about the same thing. Do not... Wait, Ian Banks and Migos, do not soil the good name of my Scottish friend.
I mentioned it to a friend earlier this week, but I want the Migos just to continue naming albums Culture in the vein of in the vein of Lil Wayne with the Carter series, just specifically so that I can continue to say two things. The first being Culture album coming soon, and the second being Do It for the Culture.
Oh no.
Wasn't Culture Album Coming
What?
Soon originally a DJ Khaled thing?
So they put that on a song that was on Khaled's album,
Okay. Alright.
specifically because it was a teaser for Culture, the first one.
Right.
Yeah, and then the Culture album came out, and then the second one came out.
All I gotta say with some of these bosses here is, we Toho now, boys. And
Yeah.
In the kitchen with twisted Mike with stir fry.
Did you know that the beat for Stir Fry is almost 10 years old?
Really?
How?
Yeah.
Really?
There was an interesting story behind it. I guess it was originally intended for T.I. back in like 2007,
Oh.
2008.
Wow.
And I guess it never got used, and Pharrell just gave it to one of the Migos guys as like a gesture of friendship, I guess. I don't know how you'd put that. But yeah. And it's probably
I know,
the
I
best
get-
song on
it's
the
like-
album.
It's like when you become an... Yeah, I've heard that. And it's like I guess it's like a gesture of alliance when you, like, your daughter marries the scion of a particular family.
Well, you know, they had to become amigos with the Migos.
Amen.
I get it. Because
Ian M. Banks, my favorite rapper, says
Not
when.
to be confused with Paul Banks.
I
who
was
did have a rap career.
he did,
Something Lloyd Banks.
and the only thing I know about Paul Banks' rap career is that his first mixtape, got a 2 from Pitchfork, which
Oh
is
yeah,
just funny.
it was polarizing to say the least.
Jane,
I
jog my
mainly
mem-
remember, like, I mainly remember,
What?
I remember a very early Fantano review of one of his projects being like, essentially, this isn't completely awful, but it's just not very good.
Trey,
that
what
was
were you gonna ask me to jog your memory
Ages
over?
ago.
What did Lloyd Banks do?
He was part of G Unit.
Yeah, right. But like, what song of his was like the one that actually made it to like radio and shit? Do you remember?
I don't actually know. I don't know if Lloyd Banks had a radio hit. He might have. I don't remember. Let me think here. Lloyd Banks is the one. I haven't listened to G Unit in a long time. Hold on, I'm gonna look this up because now it's gonna bug me.
Wikipedia says that On Fire made it to the top 10, and then Google says Beamer, Benz, or Bentley was
Beamer,
something
Benz,
that
or
he was involved with.
Bentley. That was the like
So, yeah.
semi-recent one, yeah. Huh. Yeah, I don't remember On Fire like at all. Guys,
Yeah, me
look at
neither.
Migos.
But yeah, anybody here who doesn't know who Paul Banks is, he was the
The guy from Interpol, yeah.
yeah, vocalist from Interpol. Who you would
We
not
have
expect
200 couches where you can sleep tight.
Rim right. We have 200 couches where you can sleep tonight.
Yeah?
Sleep tonight. Yeah, I really like early Interpol.
I haven't heard much of their work besides that one, I don't think.
That
But
is
that one's in
Yeah.
in Rock Band 2, I want to say.
Huh. Yeah, that's
Either the first one or the second.
That's Obstacle 2, isn't it? No, PDA, sorry. Obstacle 2 is very different.
It's from the Red album.
It's from
that?
Turn on the Bright Lights.
Are we now posting like any 3 emotes and saying, "Hey, look, it's Migos"? I can get behind that.
Oh my.
Well, you know, Apple did that like one commercial where
Yeah.
the emoji do the
That's
Migos
like a
as
thing now.
Stir fry.
Like they
Yeah.
have like little mini music videos where they have the Animoji sing it. Because they did one for
And then there's one for Redbone too.
yeah, where he was the alien emoji.
Yeah. Which is, by the way, probably the greatest thing that Apple has made in like the past decade.
They're pretty good.
Yeah. It's the Negroes.
Now,
In the
now I'm
pyramid,
just
this is like the
remembering because I
circle.
was thinking of takeoff as the plane emoji, and then I thought, and then I remembered the existence of like anthropomorphized plane smut.
Oh
Shredney!
god. Oh god.
And I was just
Why does
like,
it have to
why?
be like this?
Why did I have
Um,
to remember
I'm
that?
fighting Overlord right now. Why would you do this to me right now?
Because I want you to lose at Toho.
I don't want to lose at Toho.
I
I
don't actually
actually
want you to lose at Toho either.
I
Personally,
I found this like post. I don't know what anime it was from, but
I
it
know
was like
exactly what you're going to talk about. Go on.
oh god. So a girl, she's in this like field, and she like has her hat. It blows away in the wind, and then this other girl comes behind her, jumps to
Fuck.
grab the hat, can't grab it, so she transforms into a fucking jet, just to get the hat back.
is that
And
a Strike Witches thing?
I have no idea what the anime was.
I believe, and this was something that was told to me, so I don't know if it's actually true, but I believe that is not actually from anything. It's like a CGI. Like, you know how animators will sometimes make, like, GIFs to show off their work?
Oh yeah, like a
Yeah.
little...
It's apparently, I think it's one of those.
Okay,
I don't think it's actually
And,
from
like-
anything, but I might be wrong.
but that
And like the stupidest part about it is the
Uh-huh.
fact that there's an upskirt shot of the
Of
plane
course,
girl
I mean, well,
as she
that's
transforms,
well,
and and her breasts are her wings. I'm
That-
I'm
well,
so
the-
tired.
the upskirt
I'm so
the upskirt shot does sound like a Strike Witches-y thing. Let's
Arrested
actually,
for horny
no, there
in
is no
portfolio.
upskirt shot because they all wear those stupid short pants. So there are no skirts, just those stupid fucking pants. Ugh. Fucking anime. God.
Anime was a mistake.
Alright, well, I'm gonna go use the bathroom quick, and then we're gonna get started on GeoGuessr.
Okay, Trey and I can talk about how anime was a terrible mistake.
Yes.
Oh, Utana and turning into a car. Yes, Wit. Oh my god. You know, what you did not count on is that I can turn into a car too.
More than meets the eye.
That's... Oh my god. Well, that's Adolescence of Utana. I actually haven't seen Adolescence of Utana. I've seen large chunks of it, but it's like... I need to. Because... fuck. Like, they make Akio into, like... a doofus. How does that...
God.
How do you make Akio into a doofus?
The idea of an anime turning the idea of Transformers into Transformers, but sexy, just like kind of, it doesn't compute. Like,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like,
you can make Transformers gay to great effect, but you can't do that and make it sexy.
I feel like, well, I mean, it's somebody's fetish. Let's get real.
Oh God. This is painful, Shredney. I want you to realize this.
I mean, you know, just like, I enjoy my reputation as a practicing sadist.
Inflatable plane porn.
Oh, Jesus. I was talking about inflatable plane porn. I was just talking about regular anthropomorphized plane porn.
Ah, yes, because having that extra layer just doesn't. It
But now
isn't
that you
indicative
mention
of how worse it is.
Now that you mention inflatable anthropomorphized plane porn, that's a whole nother layer.
Oh my god. This is what you have wrought.
I mean, yes. I mean,
Yes.
yes. I mean, I am a furry. I know these things. I know these dark and terrible things. Like, do not, don't go on to E621 without expecting to run into something really fucking weird at least once.
Cat, what are you doing?
Oh gosh.
Don't step on.
Is that Jane yelling at the cat?
I'd rather if you just
Kitty! I want to
I'm
pet the
gonna
kitty.
try to make a leap of faith over here to the oven.
I would probably sneeze.
Yeah.
Oh.
See? There you go. That's
I mean, I appreciate other people's love for animals, though. Like, I get really jumpy around people's pets. I don't really know why. I think it's probably like my instincts go flaring up to the point of like being like over what's the word? Hyper effective, I guess.
Yeah, I can understand that. I don't remember what the word would be, but yeah, I kind of get that. Like, Millie gets weird and uncomfortable around dogs.
I
but
return
she really likes cats a lot.
from the
as you
depths
know.
of my kitchen.
Well, yeah.
What you guys
She
What you guys talking about? Why did Heinz say Trey stop in all caps? I'll stick my dick in an F-16 because I respect the troops. Are you guys okay? What's going on in here?
Um, we were talking. Well, Trey made it about inflatable anthropomorphic plane porn when I was just talking about regular anthropomorphic plane porn, so it's his fault.
That's what happens when you bring the topic up.
The show is canceled and you're all fucking fired.
I can't even be fired. You don't pay me.
I guess that's true, I don't.
You can't fire me. I quit.
I'm not gonna quit this show until you all drive me away with something
Oh my
worse than that.
I haven't talked enough, so I can't quit yet.
So,
Oh, no, you...
also we're in the same fucking, like, middle of nowhere field we always end up in fucking GeoGuessr.
There are pines and spruces.
This could be anywhere on the planet. Any continent but Antarctica.
In the pines,
Anyway.
This is our fate.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I watched Gotcha Man Crowds this past week. That show's
Oh,
good.
hey, that's directed by a guy I like.
That show is good. It's about
I've heard.
stuff. And
Yeah, but I mean,
Hajime is the best protagonist of all time.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
darn it, I did it again.
she has this is a weird thing to say, but I really like her design because her mouth is adorable.
It does this, like, triangle thing. It's pretty good.
Yes, exactly. It is like...
She actually kind of reminds me of, the frog girl from My Hero Academia.
Tsuyu from,
Yeah.
Which I still, at some point, need to see, actually. Like, the more I hear about it, the more I go, like, this seems like a very charming show.
I watched
probably give
the
it a
first
chance.
couple episodes, and my impression was that the characters are very good, but yeah, the other stuff is pretty standard shonen fare, and I'm not really super interested.
I totally understand that.
I
Yeah.
think we are somewhere where they speak French.
Oh yeah, this
I'm
is
not-
definitely, I'm gonna guess southern France.
What's up, Trey?
Or like Poitevin.
I don't think I'm familiar, but as far as the frog girl from My Hero Academia goes, Froppy is my daughter, and I love her.
Actually, hold on. Now that I think about that, when did that start? Because for many years it was you had your anime characters, you had either a waifu or a husband.
And then like,
And then at
the
some
daughter
point,
thing has become more of a thing in the last 5 years, I think.
I think the first
I don't know.
time I remember seeing it was when, I don't know, like around when the original Little Witch Academia movie came out.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. But
Yeah,
I mean, I've heard a little.
something, Tumblr.
I have
Probably.
I've heard it in reference to like oh God, what's her name? Yotsuba-chan.
Oh! Maybe.
Like it's an old it's like, Yotsuba is my daughter and I will protect her.
Yotsuba
It
is the collective daughter of the entire anime community.
Yeah, exactly. And it was like that was like a meme for a long
I don't
time.
know it.
It's extended.
I don't know if Tumblr started it. I don't think it did, but
No,
either way,
it's
it perpetuated it
it
for at least
perpetuated.
in my case. At least in my case.
Trey, you would really like Yotsuba because she has bright green hair.
Yeah, I
Yes.
know. It's nice,
I think
and it
she's,
goes like out in those
yeah,
little angular little pigtail
I
thingies.
think
Yeah,
she's supposed
Yeah.
to look like a four-leaf clover. I'm not actually 100% sure though.
I
She
could see that.
yeah, she is a good character in a good comic that I haven't read enough.
Yes. Also,
Um
I
Yotsuba.
remember seeing it around a lot as a kid because it was in the graphic novels and anime section in my library,
Mm-hmm.
along
yeah,
with a bunch of the original volumes of like Bleach and Bone by Jeff Smith.
Bone.
it's like the second it's one well actually it might be like at this point one of the best known things by
Alright.
Hirohiko Azuma.
Hmm.
Oh.
Azumanga Daioh.
Yeah, the Azumanga Daioh guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, we're in a
Um
city. They speak what I believe to be Spanish here. Photo laser.
uh
Aki.
Well,
Totas Vapor.
nobody can defeat the photo laser.
I think
Yeah,
I made that
he
joke last week in a completely different context.
uh
No one can
huh.
defeat the quad laser.
What was it?
We are
Yes,
the
actually, you
Moonlight.
did. But okay. What I was gonna say was, like, what I was. Oh yeah, Gatchaman Crowds is directed by Kenji Nakamura, who also did Mononoke.
Huh.
Sick.
So if you notice any weird visual stuff, that's because it's the
Oh,
Mononoke.
there's like a lot of weird visual stuff. Like the entire
Oh yeah,
show's art style is very like glossy and
yeah, it's that's Kenji Nakamura.
it does the thing
He's
where there's like patterns on some characters' hair or shirts and the patterns don't move when they move.
Oh yeah, that is a
It,
Nakamura thing to a T. It's like him and Mahiro Maeda do that a lot. Also to a lesser extent
We're
Aki
in Peru.
Kishimoto, but like yeah, Maeda and Nakamura are particularly yeah.
Boom.
Ooh,
the chowder thing.
Yeah, the chat. That's what I was gonna say too. Is I
yeah.
mostly associate it with chowder.
I
Yeah.
mostly like I always associated it with Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei.
I remember that show. Do you know that Black Moon still has that guy as his avatar on Twitter?
Huh.
I don't know if you
Yeah.
guys
Oh
remember Black
wait.
Moon super
Yeah.
well.
What is his Twitter handle?
I think it might just be at Black Moon. I can check after the stream. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, but
He
I mean,
was the first.
I can't remember his actual name. The
Damien.
teacher character
Oh.
has a great fucking
Yeah.
design. I just
He
have to
was
say,
the first person that ever talked to me over on the forum because like I introduced myself in the little like thingy on Yakfest 7 years ago, and then he was like, "Hi."
Yep. Yeah, nice guy.
Yeah,
He draws
I'm
a
so
lot.
old.
Well, I realized yesterday that it's been about 10 years since I made my TV Tropes account. And then like 7 or 8 since I started posting. And I felt
uh,
positively ancient.
I've definitely, God, it must have been like 8 or 9 years ago yet, but like I didn't actually start posting in earnest until like, God, I was 19 at the time? 18 or 19?
I was like 14 or 15, which is
Yeah.
I have now come to believe is like too young to be on the internet.
Yeah. I can understand that, yeah. But, like,
I was
I'm just...
13 years old,
But,
and
yeah,
then
like... Yeah,
when
sorry.
I first joined TVT, I actually I I had the username Trey Rocks, which was what I used on the internet prior to coming up with TreySpeak, and like I. I think that after 3 months or so, I remade my account specifically because I did not want to have that like be there anymore because I was growing out of it,
Oh,
and
yeah.
like I've kept the same handle since because it's just my name is just Trey,
Yep.
Yeah,
which
Trey
which is kind of weird.
Man.
kind of like, so, like...
I use my name as my handle for most things now. Like I
Yeah,
put
like,
something
Yeah,
before or after it, but it's usually Jane something.
for a long time, I used just my initials, as you are well aware.
Yeah. I
yeah.
was
Um,
never on TVT, and that's how we know that it's been a long time because I now have friends who were not involved in that whole rigmarole. You
yeah, like...
you didn't miss anything important when
Oh,
It's
yeah.
probably for the best.
Like,
the
the
fucking
TV...
like feud with something awful and
Oh my god, the TV Tropes forums, like,
that
were,
place was
like, a
a
mix
hot
of all
mess.
the... All, like, some of the best things and also a lot of the worst things about the internet in exactly the same place. Sometimes with the same users.
You guys fucking
It's
remember Guitar Bazaar?
barely.
Kinda.
That was the guy who like he had like a real hard on for Kamina from Gurren Lagann, and he was always telling people to be more manly.
Oh, I
Oh
kind of
yeah,
remember that.
yeah.
That
I
guy was
vaguely
weird.
have a bit of
I don't know
recollection.
I
why.
was...
There's like a
He
couple
was...
people who have stuck in my mind as just like total assholes from that site, and I still don't like them, even though I haven't spoken to any of them in like half a decade.
Yeah, like, he was before my time, I think, by just a little
That
bit.
might be true, yeah.
Like, there were other people who I ran into there who were like, well, some of them were fucking creepy. Like,
Oh yeah, I mean I'm not gonna name names, but there was a couple people who
oh man,
tried to
yeah,
like
like, I'm just...
get with me who should not have been because I didn't make a secret of how young I was and they were much older than me.
Ew.
I
Yeah,
think
like,
we might be thinking of a particular person with a Final Fantasy avatar.
no, I was thinking of, that one guy. Uh, that,
Yeah,
like,
that one guy. What an ass.
well, I guess I'll name names here because, like, the guy got banned, like, hardcore, was,
Ah,
like,
you know.
signed.
I vaguely remember him. I don't remember much about him though. Like I remember the
He
username,
was
but not anything else.
just, like, he just was kind of, like, vaguely gross.
Yeah, there
If that
were
makes...
like in retrospect, there were a lot of people that were like that. I think
Yeah,
it was
like,
just kind of the result of pouring the runoff from like everywhere else on the internet into one place. It was a weird
yes.
forum in a lot of ways.
Oh, yeah, it was very bizarre. Like, a lot of those people got, like, like, it was like there were a lot of decent people who got banned for various reasons, but also, like, fortunately, when... I mean, it started before the changing of the guard happened when Fast Eddie, like, left,
We're in Norway.
but like, but I mean, like, after a while, like, they just straight up banned most of these people. Like,
Yeah, and the forums now, because I do go there still occasionally, are a lot more
occasionally, yeah.
like sane than they were back at
Yeah.
their active
Um,
peak. It's mostly just fairly young kids kind of talking about pretty
yeah,
typical fairly young kid stuff.
yeah, teenagers and, like, a sprinkling of, like,
Young
20
adults,
something nerds.
and then like I don't know. I assume
I do
Madrugada is still
distinct
there, but
Last I checked, she was, like, not very often, though.
what were you gonna say,
I
Trey?
I do distinctly feel like You know, I hang out on the forum game section of the site a bunch still, and I feel like I'm kind of like the big older brother of a bunch of the folks on there now because I'm like
Hmm.
I'm still relatively young, but I've been on the site for like forever. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
like
gosh.
God,
I
like
I know when I made my return, because if you guys will remember, I was actually banned for like 5 years, like multiple
yeah,
years. Um, and I
yeah, that was
via
a thing.
Daltar, I appealed to get that lifted under the grounds that like, hey, I moderate my own community now. I have more respect for other people's time, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Um,
and then
and
you were Bep.
yeah, Bep. I actually stole that from somebody on the Trigger Discord. Who has since changed his name to what is it? Darling Froppy, I think is his screen name now. Shout
Like
out to
Froppy.
Hierophant, friend of the channel. That's his like actual like hard handle on Discord. He's a cool guy.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I
I
a couple people were like, oh, the big two I know were AHR and Parable were surprised to see me back.
like it. Apparently, if I'm not mistaken, AHR is actually a published author now.
What? Really?
Yep,
That's cool.
yep.
I didn't know that. What
Yeah,
is her?
she's doing well in
That's
life.
cool. I
Yeah,
always liked her. I know people got on her case a lot, but I liked her.
yeah. It's like there were reasons, but it's like
I don't remember anymore, and
I'm not
honestly, it's
gonna.
been such a
I'm
fucking
not. I
long time.
remember
Like,
some of it, but I'm not gonna get like into
yeah,
it. It's like
it's
it's
been such a long
interpersonal
time.
shit I
Yeah.
don't want to get into. It's basically like
Inconsequential.
yeah, it's like when like when you're younger and you overshare about some stuff, then
Oh, I still
people,
do that all the time. It's just now I've kind of
yeah,
like accepted that that's
yeah.
my lot in life is to recount my entire life story to everybody I meet.
Oh yeah, like she made some bad decisions with what to overshare.
Yeah, there was a bunch of, like, you could write a fucking book about it, and the thing is
Yeah.
that's not even like unique. That's true of
Oh
most of
yeah.
those kinds of forums that existed like 10ish years ago.
Oh man, no.
But
Yeah, like
but
it's
like you could write a full on like expose about fucking just the stuff that happened, and
I said some amazingly dumb shit on the
I'm sure
internet
I
when I
did too.
was younger.
I mean, when I was younger, and I only realized it with retrospect, I was dealing with a lot of like internalized homo and transphobia.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I said some like genuinely nasty shit that I didn't get my due
Yeah.
comeuppance for. But again, it's been such a long time, I don't really
I mean,
know.
I'd kind of like by the time I was like more I mean, I was like involved on the internet from a really young age, like in one way or
Yeah,
another.
I joined.
But at the same time, like I think by the time I was in like situations where it would come up at all, like when I was younger, I just like avoided the topic of, you know, sex at all costs. But I think that I'd mostly like come to terms with the better part of who I was in that respect by the time I was on like TBT and things.
Hmm.
And I was like, yeah, yeah,
My
I'm queer,
Tumblr
I'm
still
weird, I'm fine with that.
my my Tumblr still has all of my old posts from when I first joined at 12 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Huh.
It,
The Geopark
I kept
waters of the Amazon. Sorry,
I
go on.
keep the same account because I'm stubborn.
I mean,
Okay,
honestly, it
like,
is kind of cool to have a record of all that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
okay, where on the Amazon do you think?
I don't know. I put a safety pick down in Brazil, but it's not like we're on a timer, and I feel like we can go for a while
We're
tonight.
definitely
So,
in Brazil because, Portuguese. I mean,
yeah.
like, and it has the Amazon, whereas if we were in Suriname or something, that wouldn't be the case.
So, yeah. But, yeah. TV tropes, right?
Yeah, that was a wild time, and that's where I first met Millie,
That
way
is
way
true.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that I am grateful for. Yeah, like I mentioned DAF, and she was like, "You're into DAF?" And it was like,
What's DAF?
DAF, or Deutsche Amerikanische Freundschaft, were a German synth punk turned dance group
Huh.
from the early 80s. Who, I mean, actually, originally they were like an eight-piece industrial band that stripped back to like two people.
Hmm.
And then they opened for Wire at Wire's, at what at the time was their last concert on Leap Day in 1980. And half of that set is like half of their album Decline und die Bossen, which is the Small and the Evil. and
Small and the Evil.
and then they got a hit song called Der Mussolini, which was
Oh,
making
that I've
fun
heard of, actually.
yeah, making fun of both fascism and dance music at the same time. Uh, you know, and so they did a bunch of albums where they're like posing like in leather or shirtless and very sweaty and staring sexily at the camera because
Typical, like, industrial dude stuff.
they were really really gay and made no secret about it.
Uh,
Like they did an album, they did a like a like they did songs about like picking up dudes in the bathrooms of gay bars and
Gosh.
and like, you know,
like a
And this
gay
is what
version of
you two
Humpty
bonded
Hump.
over.
we immediately, it was like, you've heard of DAF, and it was like, yeah, it was
I'm
like,
trying to remember what because I met my significant other there too. I'm trying to remember what my first conversation with Cece was about. Probably like Pokemon or something. I don't
about
remember.
what?
I said probably like Pokemon or something. I don't really remember.
That wouldn't be surprising. I barely knew CC on TVT. Like, she was there, but she didn't post as much in the places that I looked.
We ended up doing, because at the time you could do this, you can't anymore. We ended up making like basically a clubhouse thread for me and her and a couple of our friends, and
Uh-huh.
we kind of hung out there most of the time.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Uh, I was mostly in the circles that you are aware of.
Yeah.
um,
I also did a lot of play-by-post role-playing, including, this is an embarrassing thing to mention,
oh
but,
no.
no, I'm not what you're thinking. um,
Okay.
I was part of the We Are Our Avatars game, and was kind of responsible from turning that into like a goofy fun thing into like trying and
Oh,
failing horribly to be
serious.
semi serious and have like
Oh
an
God.
overarching narrative.
I I
My
I once walked
my
into this is
character, and this is true. My character at the
oh no.
time was an android built out of an Xbox.
That is actually
Hey.
pretty great. But
Um,
but I'm just gonna
yeah,
say, I once tried to walk in there and like when it had already gone into serious mode, and I went in there at I didn't know that it had gone into serious mode.
yeah.
I went in as a my avatar at the time was the cover of uh Mirror's album Into the Woods,
I've never used
which
the internet. When
which
I feel
is
like that's
a
not true.
painting, a very abstract painting of a stand of trees, like pine trees.
Yeah.
It's like this green blur, and I was like, I am a forest. I'm just here. And it pissed people off
Oh yeah.
so much.
No, like you couldn't do that. Like people would get fucking furious. And that
Like
you
they
can blame all of
absolutely
that on me.
like like it, like I decided in the middle of the in the middle of the field, a large stand of trees pops up, and it's like, and people did not like. It wasn't like they didn't know what to do with it because they could have rolled with
Yeah,
it.
it was like, how
But like,
fucking dare you interrupt our ongoing storyline, and yeah. No, I
yeah, it
know.
was like they were doing some like bullshit like faux shonen action shit,
Well, that
and
was what
like
it was for a long time.
and
Was
like
that,
I am a bunch of trees.
and then
Oh.
like sometimes somebody would die and everything would be all sad for a while, and then it would go back to it was like that. It was a bunch of like 12 to 15-year-olds doing their idea of what an action anime would be like, basically. It was
Oh my God.
fun, but you know.
I remember I got involved in a writing project with some other people on the forum, which was initially to write a shonen anime thing, despite the fact that I knew absolutely fucking
Yes.
zilch about shonen anime things. So I just kind of ran with it because I liked. I got I made a few people who I made a few actual friends through that. One of whom I still on and off keep in contact with. Uh, she went by the handle Betsy and the Five Avengers, which is a Hey Arnold reference.
I don't think I know who that is off
You
the
know,
top of my
like
head.
it's like when Helga is threatening Arnold, it's like you'll
Yeah.
have to deal with Betsy and the Five Avengers. Um, which is a great threat.
Yeah.
But
I want to respond to Lexinator asking how that turned serious. And now keep in mind that this was like 10 years ago, because so I don't 100% remember perfectly. But to my recollection, what happened was, I was playing this like Xbox Android thing. Again, completely ridiculous concept for a character, but again, nobody really cared. Not even just an Xbox Android. What do they call them? Like a gaijinka, I think. Like an anime girl made out of
Xbox. Oh
yeah.
my.
In fact, I actually tried to find the picture a while ago, but I couldn't find it.
Oh.
Uh,
This is a loss to humanity.
yeah, it was a nice picture, but like obviously goofy.
This is like
Shredney,
a loss to culture.
Shredney, they're coming to arrest you.
What?
Was that outside of your place that a bunch of
No.
alarms just went off? Maybe that was Trey.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, it's because they found Trey's secret laboratory.
Arrested.
Oh gosh.
Arrested.
The empty room in my dorm room is full of my secret science projects, and they finally caught me because toxic waste leaked into the dorm room underneath me.
Trey the Monster Maker. No, but
No.
to the Gene Guru Miracle Healer. This is terrifying.
This is
That's
alarming.
incredible.
Biosun Gene Guru Miracle Healer, and it's got like faux Egyptian stuff. This is
That's a lot to
AF.
take in.
And it's in the middle of fucking nowhere too. This is scary.
This is a fucking cult.
Let's go. I'm afraid that if we look at this too long, they're gonna like send hit agents to our houses.
Yeah, look,
Maybe that's what the alarms were for. No, but to get back on to the topic of answering Lex's question, to the best of my recollection, the bit that was going on was they were in like a robot factory for whatever reason, and I jumped in with this, android character, and then I don't know if anybody remembers Katrika, but she
I remember
also had a similar one. Hers, I think, was like a Nintendo DS. There was like a series of pictures that we got these from. The artist had drawn a bunch of them. And somehow we spun that into this like fucking Jane was a fucking Hyperdimension Neptunia character. Yeah, that's a good comparison actually. From what I understand about that series anyway. Before Hyperdimension Neptunia existed. Yeah, they basically stole my idea and I should get royalties. Anyway, um, so yeah, we somehow spun this into like, oh, the two androids are from like an alternate universe where these companies don't make gaming consoles, they make fucking robot gladiators. And
That's something.
that was like the hook that got like it somehow snowballed into this whole like
But
you know.
Nintendo made board games before.
Well, it wasn't
And
it wasn't
playing cards.
it wasn't the past, it was an alternate universe, Shredney. It's like you don't
But,
understand
the name
the
of Nintendo, I think, is like a pun in Japanese relating to them making tabletop games.
Are you saying they can't make tabletop games and also stealthy electronic gladiator men? Girls, rather? But yeah, that was how that got started. Then for a while, I played, because obviously, you know, anytime you change your avatar, you have to change your character. So, I stuck with that for like a couple months, and then I don't even remember if it was my character or Katrika's, but one of them died, and then the other one, like, um, moved in with this like guru character as a student. I think I'm trying to remember things that happened like almost 10 years ago now, so bear with me here.
Oh man!
But
Well,
fictional things that happened almost 10 years ago.
did your new avatar at that point have a black armband? You know, for mourning.
No. But my next one after that was a like spirit that thought he was Tom Waits.
That is actually an entertaining idea.
Yes, I don't remember how long I stuck with that one. And then after that, it's kind of all a blur. And I think I left that particular roleplay soon after. And then, this was kind of when I started actually like hanging out with CC. We made Mithril Aces, which was like a Gundam type thing.
I only heard about that secondhand.
And that went on for like a good, even after we had stopped being involved. The third guy, Hydro or whatever his name was, kept it going for like a good 4 or 5 years.
And then proceeded to, after you got banned, try to purge every mention.
Yeah, that I wasn't gonna bring that up, but since you did, that guy had like a weird problem with the fact that we were. Is everything okay?
What was that noise?
I don't know. It sounded like somebody crinkling a bag.
Oh, that might be me. That might be me. I was trying to get a little like mark thingy on my phone off of the fingerprint sensor.
Oh.
Okay.
I don't know how the microphone picked that up though.
But he had a weird problem with what?
So me and Cece were not dating yet, but we were very close. And somehow he found out and had like a huge problem with that for whatever reason.
Weird homophobic.
Yeah,
weirdness.
I guess. He was never really clear about why it bothered him, to be honest with you. But
I don't
yeah,
know, maybe
he like
maybe it a thing for one of you.
I don't know. It could be. But yeah, he like retroactively scrubbed out our involvement with the project. I think to this day, if you go on the wiki page for that, there's no mention of us or our characters at all.
No, I mean, the character section still, I think, contains a bunch of your people. Like, I checked out of boredom once. But
there
like,
was also a really good drawing somebody did of Lorraine, who was my character. And, you know, at some point, the fact that I was always playing women in these fucking things should have tipped me off, but I guess it didn't. But anyway.
I can understand that.
Somebody drew a really nice picture of my character, Lorraine, and I have no idea what happened to that drawing. You got a link to this wiki. Remind me after the show, and I will drop a link to it. Mithril Ace has actually had its own wiki for a while. I don't know if it still does.
Jesus.
It was like really there was like upwards of 30 people involved at one point, and there were two like three actually, or maybe even four. Because the way it worked was that there was one game, but there were two threads for it because half the people were on one side. There was like an ongoing war, and half the people were on one side and half the people were on the other. So obviously you couldn't have that all in the same place. I think that was how we did it anyway.
Oh
And
wow,
then
that's involved.
yeah, and then there was a spin-off that they did a couple years after we left.
Yeah.
That also had two threads, I think.
This is some fucking deepest lore shit.
Yeah. No, but my
I
my
mean, no, like this whole
yeah.
conversation is
Well,
like deepest internet lore.
yeah. This is quite possibly the only record of any of this stuff that anybody was interested in keeping.
Yeah, it's
But
like, oh my god.
I don't know. Lorraine was the first original character I ever made that I still have some affection for. She was like very overly serious, and she had like a dead boyfriend, I think, that was like the angst. You know, it was stupid,
Yeah,
but
like there are characters who I threw into the character writing threads early on that I still have in the thing I'm writing, which I have been writing for like literally a decade now.
yeah, you've been at that for a long time. I don't know
But
where
yeah,
we
like
are, so I'm just gonna like
one
pop
of
down and guess
Although
somewhere
like
in South America.
I take your decade and I raise you. Stuck at the Galleria. The first draft of it was actually something that I came up with in the third fucking grade.
Wow.
oh my.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I can in theory trace some of the origins of this stuff to stuff I wrote when I was like it was a percolation of ideas from when I was actually quite young that sort of became an actual thing when I was in high school and then gradually snowballed as I got older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to say though, like in general, I find talking about this stuff kind of fun because I didn't really have
Yeah.
much in the way of like actual socialization when I was that age, like you know, quote
Yeah.
unquote supposed to. So
Yeah.
that was kind of my substitute, was like writing stories with people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
same.
to
I
be honest, like for most of my elementary school years, I would have like one or two friends at like
yeah.
mm,
That was
at
kind of
most
me too.
three.
Like I had a couple friends in middle school, and then
Yeah.
um you know, I didn't talk
I
to any
feel
of them after middle school. So
yeah. Yeah, I was kind of in the same boat where I had two friends that I like talked to all the time in middle school and then just like fell off with after that. But one of my friends, funnily enough, is like what my current best friend is someone I met in middle school that moved to Raleigh went in my second year there, seventh grade, and initially was like okay with me, but then they started like kind of they for whatever reason they hated me for a bit, and neither they nor I like fully understand the reasons behind it. Uh,
What?
I theorized that it was because we had a crush on the same girl,
uh
Ooh.
a
but
classic
uh,
tale.
but yeah, after after about eighth grade or so, we kept in contact. I guess like because by eighth grade we like sort of gotten over that, and then
Yeah.
we just kept talking. You know, they kind of came to rely on me as a like friend and somebody to confide into and everything, and I kind of felt the same way. So like we're still pretty close to this day and everything, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But like as far as the whole other stuff goes, I also kind of use the forums and stuff as a way of expressing myself, like in that sort of vein. Like you know, I keep the stuck lore like going because even like my friend that I was talking about has been great for keeping that whole part of me and that history alive to the point where I'd
Yeah.
like to come back to it and actually finish the damn thing, but it's just never like worked out because of one
Yeah.
reason or another. But it'll happen someday, you know.
Yeah. I like I think that like with when I arrived on TV tropes, it was at like a weird period of my life where I actually did have like real life friends, but like it was at this weird point where like most of my friends were doing college things, and I was going to take a gap year, which spiraled a bit out of control there, and I was just done with school, and like we'd still like some of my friends and I would still like hang out and do stuff, but it was like I just was like bored, and so
Yeah,
I wandered around the internet, and I just was eventually like, oh, this place is kind of odd and interesting. Uh,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
I
I
most
actually, like, for all of its faults,
yeah
oh, we're in fucking Russia. Anyway, for all of its faults, I actually still like TV tropes. I think it's like a good website for like killing time, kind of. I don't think it ever was really meant to be anything deeper than that, you
yeah
Yeah.
know. And you
that's
could
I think
kind of tell, like, Fast Eddie would get really fucking irritated when people would try to like criticize the
He-
site for not being deep enough, and
but he at the same time tried to make it seem like it was like
Fast Eddie was a weird dude. I can't hold a grudge with that guy just because there was clearly something going on there. I don't know what, but
I do not know what his deal was.
I
It was
mean,
weird.
yeah, an odd fellow. I hope he's doing
I
okay
I
now,
mean,
don't think
wherever he
any.
is.
I don't think anybody beyond the like site management probably knew fully like what was like
Yeah,
what
like
what the deal was. So
yeah, and I don't think
it's
even
yeah.
large tracts of the site management really knew. Like,
like maybe janitor, and that's kind of it.
yeah, it's like janitor probably knew, and I do think the whole weird something awful conspiracy theory that she was the same person as Fast Eddie was probably bullshit.
Well, I
But I
mean, she like worked at a. She was like an actual like researcher, wasn't she? She like did
yeah,
physics
like I
research
mean,
somewhere.
Fast Eddie had said she actually wound up working at CERN.
Yeah, I mean,
And
of course, like it. I mean, there's no way to prove if that's true or not. But if it is, of course, she's not gonna have time to moderate a fucking internet forum if she's
oh
doing
yeah,
stuff
and
at the
like
Large Hadron Collider. Ooh, ow.
yeah, and also on top of that, like I got the feeling that maybe she was just like from like how little she posted to begin with. It was like after a certain point she was just done.
Yeah.
You know?
Sorry,
Like
this is gonna sound absolutely ridiculous, but I actually managed to somehow just pull my leg.
ooh,
I was like
Thanks.
I was like sitting funny, and ow.
ooh,
Ooh, that hurts. Okay.
ouch.
Gosh.
uh,
Are you good?
I will be. I'm kind of sitting stupid now, but I'll be all right. I
Mm.
only really need to
Don't
use the mouse.
die, Jane.
I'm gonna die. I hope. I
Hey
used to,
Lynn, I I am also alumni, I guess, of the Congregate chat rooms. I used to spend my time in the inconspicuous cardboard box, which no longer exists, unfortunately. Uh, a bunch of the old chat servers ended up getting merged or changed somehow over the past couple of years after it got bought by GameStop. But I
This
do remember
stretch
being
that intersection sort of thing there, well, earlier, not really an intersection, but the entrance to that place there at one point is weirdly familiar. I feel like we've gotten this stretch of road on GeoGuessr before, and I don't know where it is.
uh,
eh.
But
they've
I'm
got
sorry for
pop cool
interrupting you,
here.
Trey. Go on.
So yeah, let's see. Shit, where was I?
The
But
inconspicuous cardboard box.
yeah, and hanging out in there. But I I was Trey Rocks on Congregate too because again came up with it before I came up with Trey Speak.
Hmm.
So they nicknamed me there. Like I obviously hi, my name's
No
Trey,
idea.
but
Oh God,
but they ca-
I think that's the most wrong I've ever got one.
wow.
The
Wow.
road ended, so I just took a random guess, and
Oh my God, you
we
got
were in South Africa.
127 points out of 5,000.
Yeah.
That is
Wow.
extraordinary. And it was actually in Africa for
Yep.
once.
Goodness.
I don't know.
But
Kuil sounded vaguely Turkish to me. Go on.
But yeah, my nickname over there was Rero because
Rero.
if you take Trey Rocks and remove the T and the X from the ends of the name, you get Rero.
Rero.
Yeah,
Retro.
which is kind of amusing in a way that only the internet could produce.
Yeah,
I was also, let's see, back in 2008 or so, about 10 years, I guess, let's say. Uh, I don't know if I've mentioned it on the show before, but I was alumni of the Nick.com show suggestions board, where
Huh.
people would essentially come up
Yeah,
with
oh,
TV
you
show
have
ideas.
talked
Yeah,
about this before.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That was my place.
Yeah. Like, God, the places I was on online, I was originally, when I was very young, I was on the, Jean Belair's fan forums
Huh.
for a
I
little bit.
the first
And
memory I have, like the first site that I joined, that was a terrible thing, and my parents really should have been monitoring my internet usage more closely. Um, the first website I ever joined and was an active member of was the unexplainedmysteries.com forums.
yeah, you've mentioned this.
Yeah.
And people there were fucking weird, as you might
Okay,
expect.
could I look at that sign again?
Yeah, I don't know what this is
Mo-
about.
Morato Casas. That
Spanish,
looks like
maybe? Or Italian?
this is Italy. This is
Italy.
definitely Italy.
Alright, we're in Italy. But,
You can tell because the word Montecchi has two
Montecchi, yeah,
C's.
Montecchi.
But yeah, there was a guy. The only person I remember distinctly was this guy who had an avatar of, I think, a shark biting a piece of wood, and his name was Salami Swami. Great username, by the way.
That is a great username. I think I've heard it before.
I think it's like a reference to something, so it's probably something that more than one person has.
Yeah, more than yeah, but it's one of those. It is a classic silly name.
Yeah, but his thing was he claimed to be an extraterrestrial living in Melbourne, Australia.
Well,
Nice.
He was
you
just
mean
a very
okay?
strange individual.
Incidentally, to not get crucified by Australians, it's Melbourne.
Oh, sorry.
Melbourne,
But
rather.
the point was this guy claimed to be literally like an alien, not even just an alien, a reptilian. So like a specific kind of alien.
That is amazing.
And like the best part was that on a forum full of people who like unironically thought that some people that like unironically thought that the world was flat. Nobody fucking bought this guy at all. It was great.
You know what? I would almost be tempted, if I were that kind of person, to believe him more because nobody else does.
To loop back to the idea of fucking conspiracy theories and everything, and I promise, related. So I was rewatching one of my favorite episodes of season 2 of Pickle and Peanut last night, which actually the show just ended last week.
No.
But it's okay though because they did it on their own terms. It didn't get
well,
canceled.
that's good.
But
Cool.
yeah. So there's a joke in the episode where the boys are like pretending to be like weird, cool internet hacker dudes, like in the vein of the Matrix, and they're telling the CEO of this like McDonald's sort of corporation to release a bunch of recalled toys, and then Peanut says, and also to stop sending off chemtrails and funneling money to ancient aliens. And then Pickle is like, that wasn't, we didn't talk about that. We didn't discuss this. And this is a Disney show. I want you to remember that this is a Disney show.
I mean, to be fair,
there's
Disney did air Gravity Falls.
There's like two Disneys, at least two Disneys that make animated shows. There's like the traditional Disney, and there's like the Gravity Falls kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they have kind of slowly but surely, in some respects, taken on the role that, like, I mean, like, not quite to the degree of Cartoon Network, but after Nickelodeon stopped being kind of off the wall for a while, like, they started to decline, I feel like Cartoon Network and then more recently Disney have been picking up the slack for.
Yeah, true.
Like, yeah, but, what was I gonna
Huh.
say? Oh, the other, just in terms of weird
The
nostalgic forum
dimensions are
things,
shifting.
the dimensions are shifting. This is awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
Another
Uh,
world.
but was like the after that, after the Jump Belair's forum, which the name is escaping me, I joined the Thomas Ligotti online forums
That's
when
incredibly you. By the
I
way,
was 13.
I keep forgetting to do this. At some point before I move out west, I need to
Uh-huh.
mail you this book I found in the library. It was on sale for like a quarter, and it's like a collection
Oh,
of short stories, and
that
one of
book,
them
that
is
book, that book.
one of them
Eek,
is by
eek,
Ligotti, and I
eek,
keep
eek.
forgetting to give that to you, but I need to remember at some point.
It was it Primeval, the collection of
I
the
think
various books?
so. I think so. I have
Yes,
it just like sitting on my
yes.
shelf in my room. It's just
It is a really good collection of short stories, I will say. Like,
I
there
my
are probably a few you would actually appreciate.
I'm sure there are. The only thing is though is that I I've come to the conclusion that I just can't read anymore. Like I obviously I can read, but like I can't read like prose stories in book form. I just can't do it anymore for whatever reason. Because I last year I Bird actually got me for my birthday a copy of Under the Volcano, which is a novel I had been wanting to read for like 2 or 3 years, and
Uh-huh.
I only got like 20 or 30 pages into it, and I just couldn't read
Ooh.
anymore. And I don't know why. I think it's just like one of those things where if you stop practicing for a while, you kind of stop being able to do it.
Maybe I don't know, maybe it's also just like, you know, like if you're in a certain headspace sometimes, it's just like that sort of thing. You just kind of like, I can't right now.
Yeah, I
Give
don't
Yeah.
me a
know.
year.
Maybe.
Yeah, like all I can say is like, like I feel like maybe like when you move out west, you should try reading stuff again.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe when I'm in like a better headspace, it'll be easier.
Yeah,
It used to be into the
I
Day
can
of
kind
Defeat
of relate to
thing.
that. It's
I
like
don't know what
I've
that is.
fallen off in reading stuff a lot lately myself.
I still read like a ton of manga and comic books, but not prose for whatever reason.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, like that. Yeah, that I can understand that too. It's like, huh? Oh, what was I gonna say? But yeah, like the weird thing was like I was 13 on the Thomas Ligotti online forums, and like when people did know how old I was, it was like, whoa, you actually are disturbingly articulate for a middle schooler. And I was
Disturbingly
generally well
articulate.
liked.
Disturbingly articulate. Band name number 4.
Yeah, they and generally people liked me, so that was nice. I kind of like slowly like I don't visit very often anymore, like every couple of months I drop in.
Hmm.
But like there was a dude on there later who was one of those crazy antinatalist bloggers that, old Mike used to go
Oh
on about.
yeah, those
Uh,
people.
yeah, that guy I think eventually like left or got kicked. Like more than one of them got kicked, I think,
Hey,
because they just were
do you
harshing the
guys?
vibe of the
This
place.
is like slightly more recent. Do you guys remember the CYOA game that Tachyon ran for a while with the antinatalist shark?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
This
Happy is not real. I'm
Zestpool, our
smart.
beloved.
Zestpool. Zestpool, my favorite person.
Our beloved.
Yes.
H
And the
diligence count as reading, right? When?
oh my god, but like yeah, fucking that the antinatalist shark is like one of my favorite characters in like anything. which
I'm
is
pretty sure
weird.
that I still have the archive up on the Tumblr that I made specifically just because like it's there. It's on my account
I need
and
to.
like
Yeah.
I'm not
Good.
getting rid of it.
I need to
So
Good.
bring Drink the Moon back one of these days. That was another fun thing we did.
Yeah, that was I wanted to read more of that, like, and I hadn't gotten to it. Is that like that was very cool.
There's only like two
That was
pages.
yeah,
We never got very far, but
yeah, but it
yeah.
was like what was there was cool. Um, like yeah, that's actually why I'm kind of thinking like with the reading thing, maybe it is like a headspace thing because you can like write some stuff.
I'm much better at writing than I am reading. It's really weird. um,
Yeah, and
uh,
like
more
clearly
so,
you have good instincts with those sort of things, and it's like maybe it's just like processing other people's word stuff
yeah.
is just
And then last
not.
year I had tried to write a book, and it never really. I don't know.
Uh,
I think it's part of it is like a focus thing. I've brought this up on the show
yeah,
before, but Cece, who has, I won't like spell out her neurological conditions for her, but she thinks that I have ADHD, and she would know. So,
yeah,
um,
that's I yeah, that's not surprising that
it might
that
be
yeah,
something related to that. I don't know.
yeah, like it seems like all of my friends either have ADHD, some form of autism spectrum disorder, or
I
actually OCD. Strangely enough,
Yep.
I know a weird amount
I'll
of
go
people.
for option number 2, Julian.
Uh,
Yeah, or just
it's
depressed.
it's the weird. It's the same thing as like the you know, the like trans what would you even call it? Like the telephone effect. You like first we all knew Central Avenue, who came out as
Yeah,
trans, and now like half the people on my server on
yeah,
HH are in some sense genderqueer. It's odd.
either trans or genderqueer or something. I kind of fall into that category even myself. I don't know how to answer that question is my
Yeah,
response. Um
Mine is also shrug emoji.
yeah, like my gender is shrug emoji.
gender colon shrug colon.
It's like a hard shrug.
Yeah.
My gender is hard shrug. Genius Genos Genos
Yeah.
uh I need to like see some of these. There are signs here and there
Yeah,
that it's like,
I'm like looking at them and
where
not reading
is
them, which is
this?
not a good it's not a good habit to get into. I don't know where the hell we are.
Where the fuck are we?
Genelson
Genius
modem.
Motos.
Maybe like somewhere in northern South America? I don't know. That's
Either
just a
South
guess
America or
basically.
Central America, maybe.
Yeah. But yeah,
Noted.
like I was saying earlier, the fact that I was always playing female characters and roleplay stuff probably should have tipped somebody off at some point.
Yeah. I
Even
mean, yeah,
video
like,
games, like I usually tended to go for the female character unless there was some reason not to.
yeah, like, generally speaking, like, it is obviously more complicated, but when it's like you're always doing that, then it's like
Yeah.
it's a little more telling.
And the funny thing is that I like had a type too, which usually
Huh.
that means that you like um yeah, somebody you're attracted to. But for me it was almost always like tall
Who you
women.
wanted to be.
Yeah, like tall,
Yeah.
well-built women with black hair. Pretty much always that.
That's that is I'm not sure how to say that it's like not necessarily something I did in any way, but it's something I can definitely in a weird way relate to.
Yeah. I should
Like
commission somebody to draw Lorraine at some point.
that sounds like a good idea. But like, jeez, like, hmm, like,
Yeah.
I had something that I was thinking of. Oh, we might be in. For some reason, I'm thinking the Dominican Republic or Dominican.
Maybe.
That's
Does it
like
look like
let's
this? I
try
honestly
it.
have no idea.
The other side of Haiti.
Yeah, like the other side there.
The Dominican Republic. I actually know a couple people from Dominica. Well, my mom. They're more my mom's friends than mine. We
Oh,
were in
we're
Brazil.
on the coast of Brazil, of
All
course
right.
we were.
Well, that
I'm
gets one
sorry.
star because I did poorly. We'll play another map in a second. I'm gonna go break real quick.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
I have to quickly use the restroom myself.
All right. Trey, you're
So-
holding it down by yourself for a minute.
Trey, do bad karaoke.
Let's see. I
Just do-
used to rule the world. Seas would rise when I gave the word. Now in the morning I sleep alone.
That's too good,
Sweet
Trey. You
streets
have to
I
get
used
more
to
out of key.
own.
You have to go the full pluff nub, Trey.
I can't half-ass it. I can't be bad. I have a
Have you-
reputation.
You have a nice voice. Make it as terrible as possible.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna crack the whip. You're a trained.
You have to pass a slip. Step on a crack. Break your mother's back.
God, God. What is a sufficiently bad rap song that you can attempt to rap, but even more badly? Like,
Jeez.
I could attempt Rico Suave and fail miserably.
Goodness.
That would be, awkward.
Yeah.
That would be
Probably.
so awkward. Oof. Ouch. I mean, it would be less awkward than me. No, it would actually. I don't know if it would be more or less awkward than me attempting some Vanilla Ice track.
Oh god. I don't to it, so it's not like I could actually like do it without
Oh, yeah. Just
goodness.
well, I'm gonna leave you alone to suffer. I'll be back in a moment to make you
Gosh.
suffer more. And I'm talking to you and the audience.
I look forward to it.
Yeehaw!
Once
Gosh.
again, I return to ravage the earth as I did in days long past.
You're back as Shredney leaves. He didn't even end up dipping, mostly because like we discussed the fact that me singing was too good. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad karaoke enough. And
Entertain
I mentioned
us.
the fact that I mentioned the fact that I can't like even half-ass it or anything because I have a reputation. I'd like to be good.
Oh. Well, I mean, being too good at something is a quality problem to have, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah. We'll jump into another world map, and then maybe we'll do like this and then one more. I don't know. We'll think about it. Trey's voice is too powerful.
That's why I don't talk ever. Let's see. What does this look like? Where does this look like?
Arrête!
Arrête.
Is that French?
Yeah, so we're either in France or Quebec.
Yeah.
I want to say that it might be Quebec just because, like,
Yeah.
the stop sign resembles an American or Canadian one more, but I don't know.
I don't know if stop signs are one of those things that are pretty much the same everywhere, or if there's, like, variation. You know who would know that? Alice.
Yeah. She's pretty good for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's a Winnebago. So Canada, maybe. Probably more likely that we're in Canada.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there we go. We got like the Fleur de Lis, but like it's an American style road sign. You see that?
Yeah.
Pretty sure we're in Quebec.
Oh,
Oh, you guys.
You alright there, Shredney?
hello,
I'm
Shredney.
perfectly alright.
Are you Batman? Are you Batman?
Yes.
Alfred, we need to turn on the radio.
Alfred. What is this?
You know, yes.
It's WRFL Lexington, Batman.
Uh,
Can we trust it?
Um, uh, okay, so...
We're in Quebec.
So we're in Quebec. So, I was just going to say earlier, I was thinking about this, I realized when I was little, I identified very strongly with Studio Ghibli heroines.
Me too. And
Well, so does everybody.
yeah, that's true.
I mean, that's
But
fair.
also,
But, like, Satsuki from My Neighbor Totoro was, yeah. I was like,
I'm,
yeah.
you know, at the risk of characterizing myself, the one character that I really liked when I was younger was Sailor Saturn from Sailor Moon, who was the one who like never showed up, but when she did, it was like, oh no. But she also had short black hair, and she's kind of like a general gothy look.
Huh.
And her thing was that I believe she had like this magic scythe that would destroy the universe if she dropped it. I think that's how that went. It's been a very long time since I've seen Sailor Moon, and I only saw
the outer senshi were a thing.
Yeah.
You
My
had
sister actually.
yeah.
My sister actually watched a couple of the first episodes of the original anime because Viz put up a re-release of it on Hulu, and man, she was friggin' annoyed by Usagi.
My sister watched like was watching a bunch of like the old episodes of Sailor Moon.
I want to watch Heartcat Precure at some point because that's apparently like the best of the Precure series.
Yeah, like like yeah, it's like there's also obviously like and I think you have seen it. Yeah, Card Captor Sakura.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I've seen like
You
a
have
little
not?
bit. I've seen like a little bit of it, but not the
I
entire
have
thing.
seen not enough of it. It
I
is good.
saw like some of Card Captors, which was the
Oh
hack
no.
job dub they had on Toonami back in the
yeah.
day. Like there's Funny Bad, like the Sailor Moon dub that originally ran on Toonami.
I mean, the Sailor Moon dub occasionally is like kind of like clever with what it has to work with. Like everybody bitches about the whole. Well, I have the biggest talent.
Have you ever seen the supercut of just like random shit from the original Sailor Moon dub?
I have not.
It's so fucking good. A granola bar.
But yeah, it's like, but I mean, like that line, like they clearly had to scrub it for TV. But the fact is, the way they emphasize it and the way the animation is, you can still tell she's talking about her breasts.
Yeah, like the fault of the original dub. I don't remember the name of the group now, but the original dub being as hacked up as it was, I think mostly rests on like TV standards for the time.
Yeah.
For a second, I thought that said homo instructor. I need to go to bed.
What instructor?
Homo instructor.
Oh my!
Nice.
I need a fan for like just to
when also quoting the supercut. Angry. This is really dumb bit. Just like, how do you feel? Angry.
Oh my. Cousins.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
I mean, cousins.
Cousins.
If you make one
Oh,
wrong
man.
move, it'll be the end of your cousin here. Really?
Oh man.
Stupid.
Just
That's so absurd.
like
She just goes, really? Like, apparently part of the way that was recorded was they often didn't actually do the scenes together. They did them like they had the actors just come in whenever they were available, and a lot of the time
ouch.
only do like 1 or 2 takes.
Oh god. Yeah,
So
I
if
can
somebody like
understand.
read their cue card wrong, kind of, oh
That was
well.
that was probably like the cause of a lot of what was terribly wrong with the
Yeah.
Garstwing dub. Like that dub is fascinatingly awful. Like
Oh, I
oh god,
really.
12th and 13th century foreigners surround me. They have
I
dinosaurs and
I just had a thought. I really
my
fucking.
sword is unbelievably dull.
You okay over there?
I can't imitate the guy who plays quote
I've
unquote
I've seen
Chris
I've seen
in
some
that.
quotes. I've seen some clips from it. It's really good.
Oh, I mean the whole thing. You
By the
need the full
power
experience.
of the earth and water.
Oh
It's
man.
pretty good. I actually sampled it before.
The
Not.
the Duragaro like Gaga Juju?
Uh,
Say
um,
that.
but
That sounds like a food.
it's like somewhere in Eastern Europe.
And somewhat no, oh like oh no, this is definitely like that looks like Croatia?
Yeah, put us like down here in the Balkans as a safety pick because I don't know what we're gonna get
Not
anymore.
yeah, like Croatia specifically
Yeah.
seems like a good guess.
But I had a horrible, horrible thought, which is I wonder if Katana Maidens will get a dub at some point, and if so, if it will measure up to the quality. I'm making air
The
quotes. You
or
can't see them. Quality of the
oh yeah,
original.
like the as like I remember someone once describing a particularly like I'm remembering from one of the episodes of Watch and Play that they mentioned like a friend of theirs had recommended a game because it was, as he put it, quality.
Quality.
Not quality, quality.
Is that like bad English?
I have no idea. It's just like because like a weird substitution of the letter.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, probably a reference to the overcorrection that
Oh.
Oh my
that
god, you're in
happens
Lithuania?
sometimes.
Really? Though I should have recognized that. I feel stupid.
That's fine. This doesn't
Turning
like
R's into L's.
matter. Nobody watches this
Oh, look
show
at
for
that
the
sign.
games.
Look at that sign. Look at that sign. Ah, sign. Why sign no resolve? Why you no resolve sign?
You okay?
That looks like it's in Cyrillic. Somehow.
It is! We're in Russia again.
Well, we could be in Serbia, actually.
Or like the Ukraine. Point is, we're somewhere that we're never going to be able to fucking find out where we actually are.
No, I mean, I can read Cyrillic letters. Like, okay.
Do you know what they actually mean, though? Like, do you speak Russian?
I mean, I can't speak the... Okay, like, Давайте, жить, дружно.
Yeah?
This is Russian, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, so we're in, the largest country on Earth.
Or Ukraine.
Or a bordering country that's also, like, the size of Texas.
I mean, or Belarus, which is, I guess, the smallest, and it's still big.
I don't think we're in Belarus. I've never been in Belarus in GeoGuessr.
Yeah, I think the whole
Although
basically
that would be...
being a dictatorship thing. Then again, I mean, so is Russia, but, like,
They
I mean, Belarus has
pretend
had the
not to
same
be, whereas Belarus has no pretense.
like Belarus has had the same president despite multiple elections for 35 years.
Yeah.
Also, he gave his son a gold-plated AK-47 as a present. His son is like 9.
Shout out
Shiny.
to our Belarusian viewers. I hope things brighten up in your country soon.
Yeah,
We don't have any Belarusian
Yeah,
names.
that would be good. That guy going away eventually would be good. He seems like an asshole. Man. And it's always like there's always the, like when they fake elect themselves, it's always the 97%
Yeah.
uh win.
Oh,
It's
well,
never
we got a
100%,
decent
it's
amount of points.
97, so it looks legit.
Yeah, they just happen to win in a landslide every time. These things happen.
Yeah, like Saddam Hussein, the guy in Belarus. There's like a bunch of them that like
The
it's
guy
always
in Belarus, band name number 5.
yeah, it's like Alexander something. Oh. But yeah, like it is worth noting. It is interesting to me that actually, Belarusian is a different language from or dialect at the very least, separate from Ukrainian and Russian. There are four branches to that very small family tree. The fourth is Rusin, also sometimes known as Lemko because of a particular
That's
group of them.
what they speak in. Uh, Not the Ukraine. It's like north of there, right? Or
Where
it's
did you say?
northern Eastern Europe, right?
Like the different groups of the Rusnaki, as they call themselves, are in like there's one group in Austria, and then most of them are, I think, in Poland.
Okay.
And they like, yeah, they're basically like the group of Ukrainian, like dispossessed Ukrainians way back in like the Imperial Russian era who didn't
Yeah,
return to Ukraine when it became independent.
there's it's kind of embarrassing, I guess, this way that I know this, but there's actually a formable nation in Europa Universalis 4 called
Called what?
what is it? Like something with an M, and their primary culture is Russian, the one you were talking
Huh.
about.
Huh.
It's like you 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 can't like make it by decision like you can with some of the other nations in the game. You have to like at war with another country, and then you can make them release it as like a peace
Hmm.
offering. It's
That is
one of
interesting.
those countries you don't see very often, along with Swami or Suomi, which is up in Finland, or
Oh
not
yeah, like
not Sapmi. Sorry,
Sami. Yeah, the Sami who live way up north.
yeah, and it's like a
You
two
know the
province country. There's like
yeah, like the interesting thing about Finnish, like as opposed not Sami but Suomi, is that actually Finnish was like the main Finnish language is derived from a particular set of specific dialects that I think are from Western Finland, but there are actually a bunch of like the dialect continuum includes a bunch of other like dialect groups in neighboring countries that were never standardized to Finnish.
hmm,
So they often are like really divergent. Like strictly speaking, like Estonian is at the very far edge of that, but like Karelian, Kven, I can't remember what the ones in like
did you know
the that one part of Sweden are.
that I'm from a land called Secret Estonia?
Nobody knows where it's at.
Oh,
What is this a reference to?
Creep Show by
Creep Show
Carolee,
by Curly.
who is probably the only Estonian pop star to ever receive any amount of crossover in the United States.
That is really strange.
She had a music video on a service I used to use on my cell phone that I've been trying on and off for like months to remember the name of this service, but you could like subscribe to different channels and it would give you certain kinds of content, and one of them was like
Huh.
like an indie music.
Was it Jamster or was it a different thing?
It might have been Jamster. I would need to look at it because I remember the look very well. It was like this red and white get up. Um,
Huh.
and
Well,
they had
their their logo was definitely red and white at some point.
It might have been, but it wasn't just music because like the indie music channel was only one of them. They also had a motion comics thing that I was also subscribed to,
Huh.
and I read Princess Eye and Bizengost, two very different motion
Oh,
comic
yeah,
series.
you've talked about the latter.
Bizengost is really weird and pretty interesting, and is at the time it ceased publishing, was being published on the creators. What's that website that people use for like little creative stuff? Etsy. It was being published
Huh.
on its creator's Etsy page. You had to like
That
buy
is
it from her.
interesting.
And Princess Eye was part of the OEL trend. I don't know if anybody remembers
Yeah,
those.
like, I mean, both of them were, weren't they?
It was, but Princess Eye more so. It actually like took place in Japan and stuff.
Yeah, like, but yeah, the OEL trend was really weird to me, honestly, like, because I was, like, in high school and middle school when that was going on.
Yeah, a lot of them were awful. Some were pretty good.
Yeah, it's like I didn't really get like the point. Like, why not just sort of publish it as like a regular
Just
graphic
just
novel
call
and
them
not
comics. Yeah, I think that's kind of what people eventually realized they should do, which is why that term
yeah,
doesn't
like
really
comics
exist
and graphic
anymore.
yeah, like comics or graphic novels, and it happens to be inspired by manga. That's cool.
Yeah,
But I think it was because of the novelty of it being inspired by manga, because it was still in that really nerdy place as opposed to being
yeah.
just kinda nerdy.
And
You,
also the name, I think, kind of was a novelty in of itself to a lot of people. Like, oh, it's original English language manga. It's not though,
yeah.
but you know, whatever.
Which, like, I mean, which if you were using, like, I mean, technically manga has, like, different roots from American comics if you go way back, but,
Yeah,
like,
but like most of the time, it was just
format,
yeah, this is a graphic novel with like a manga
yeah,
inspired art
it's
style.
like, it is a comic or graphic novel or whatever. Like, it is a sequential art narrative that is inspired by the Japanese tradition, but is ultimately in the English language tradition.
Yeah, and there were a lot of them that I didn't like, but I remember liking Princess Eye and Bisengast.
Hmm.
The thing about
Yeah,
both of those also was because they were motion comics, they were sort of vaguely cartoonish. They had theme songs, and both of them had theme songs that fucking ruled. And I
that fucking what?
ruled. They were
Oh,
very good.
sorry.
That's
You
okay.
got cut out for a second. It was like, what?
That's okay.
Because the thing is fucking and then blank. Like, you can fill in a lot of weird shit in
Yeah. But the one for Bisengast was Feel the Disease by the Kissing Violet, which is like
there.
one of the few like it, you guys are familiar with Evanescence. It's
Yes.
basically like a slightly heavier Evanescence song.
Huh. So like the gothy side of new metal.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I
Wake me up! Can't wake up! Wake up, save me!
You know what? You know what? I will give props to Evanescence's female vocalist. She's fine.
Well,
Amy Healy.
they only have the one vocalist. The other guy's like a guest on the song.
Huh?
Basically,
Yeah.
everybody else left the band, so she's pretty much the band.
Yeah.
All right.
Um,
I'll give their vocalist props. She's fine. It's just
but
that their music is. Nah.
they make like fucking like weird dubstep step stuff now. I think I heard one of their
Oh
recent
my.
songs, like recent-ish, from a couple of years ago, a little while back, and
Where are we?
I have no idea. This could be
You know-
anywhere on Earth.
Like, let's look at the sign.
They speak Spanish here,
V-
but
Vienna.
Vienna.
Okay.
They take a MasterCard.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was about to say they take Mastercard.
but
That's something.
yeah. So there was that song, and there was the one for Princess I, which I cannot remember the name of, and it haunts me because I want to listen to it, and I can still get most of the song in my head. I just don't know the name or who it's by.
You could probably look that up.
Maybe. I guess I've never really thought to thought to look it up as like
I
Princess
mean,
I theme song.
yeah, I've been there with things like, like it should be something that it's like kind of obvious, but it's like, nah. Like you just never really consider it in those terms,
Yeah.
and it's like somebody says it, it's like, oh, huh.
I remember very little about the actual plot of Princess I. It was like she was like an alien and she was trying to become a pop singer. I don't remember. Again,
That is very 90s Japan inspired.
yeah. And again, this is like one of those things that probably should have tipped me off about the whole trans thing when I was younger, but
Like, I mean, like, yeah, like the two, I feel like the two groups who like you kind of like you are either queer or some variation on trans when you're reading like, you know, OEL manga about an alien idol singer.
yeah. And there was like she was it like she sung and that like fought off the bad guys. I don't remember. It's been too long. And from what I can tell, Princess I is not very fondly remembered. So
Yeah.
maybe it's better. That was one of the things that Tokyo Pop. Actually, yeah, channel. It was a Tokyo Pop sponsored channel. That was
Yeah, that
how
wouldn't be surprising.
that
Like
was
Tokyo
how I
Pop
got.
basically the whole it seems like most of the OEL manga thing was like explicitly like a thing that like the way that Tokyo Pop were
Yeah, that was like
advertising their stuff.
yeah, that was like their thing. Was like we now publish American manga, even though I think the Bisengast lady was actually British. But oh
Oh, we just went inside a store.
yeah, um,
Also,
like
I
a
saw some like
the
a lot
medical
of
store.
seidias, like the C's, the little things under the C's, in a few of those words
They
back there. But
use
so
dollars
this is
here.
oh no, this is Brazil. That's Portuguese.
They use
Ah, yes, my favorite food, citronella.
But
do.
yeah, we're in
That was the
Brazil.
opening riff to Citronella by A$AP Rock. Also,
Gotcha.
I can't seem to. There we go.
Hmm. But yeah, okay, so we're in Brazil.
Brazil,
We're
Brazil,
grooving
Brazil,
in
Is that
Brazil,
a
Brazil.
Brazil.
Crocs store I just saw?
Baby.
Oh my.
Go,
This place?
go to the right. Hmm.
Aqualung?
No, not quite. It's the one with the green awning,
This over
like
here?
on the left. On the left.
That one. The one with the green awning right in front of you.
What's an awning?
An
Like
oh, like an overhanging thing in front of a door.
This bit right here?
Like yeah, like one of those, yeah. But on the other side, the
not
other one, the
not quite the other
green,
side, yeah.
the blue
Oh,
green one.
oh, this?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally a
That-
Croc
Oh,
store.
that.
God.
Cursed.
That is.
Can we
that
go in
is,
there? I want to go in there.
That is deep.
Legendary.
That is the worst kind of American imperialism. Now I understand the communist anger. It makes me want to become a fucking Marxist, man.
I like that this store is called Stand By, which you'd think that would be like the name of a shoe store, and they do sell shoes, but mostly they seem to sell like booze.
Nice.
What?
Nice.
This store is called Stand By, which you'd think would be the name of a
Yeah.
shoe store. And they have like a little shoe rack over here, but they mostly seem to sell sunglasses and booze. And like
That is
cigars.
amazing. Well, it's all that you need to be like a very cool loafer.
For what? It's for when you're planning your power moves, man. You gotta get your sunglasses and then your whiskey
and
and
your
then your
flip
fucking
flops.
Crocs. Your
Or
fucking
no, like
Crocs.
those look
You
like
you get those from
actual like
across the.
those look like almost like not quite dress shoes, but you know what I mean? Like a
Uh,
few of them.
yeah, like
No,
casual
but you gotta
formal.
go. You gotta go to the store next door for that.
But
But
they
still,
look like you got your business casual shoes, you got your like, dude bro sunglasses, your cheap ass whiskey, and then you're like ready for like anything. You gotta wear like a
Well,
blue polo shirt,
oh,
like a light blue polo shirt.
huh. We're
We're on
actually
an
on this
island.
island off, like right off the coast of Brazil. Parque
Huh, neat.
Estadual Ilha Bela. Interesting.
power plays.
In the city of Praia.
Praia de Jabacara?
Habakara.
Jabaquara?
Jabba 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 kara kara chameleon.
Oh, what was I gonna say? But like, yeah, like you gotta wear like that light blue polo shirt, khakis, khaki shorts, your business casual shoes, glasses, sunglasses, I mean, and like have like a bottle of whiskey in a brown paper bag because why the fuck not?
Walk the halls with my
Money moves,
shorty,
man.
drinking a
Yes,
40.
I
it's
don't.
like,
I don't gotta dance. I make money moves.
yeah.
Bodak Yellow is a surprisingly good song for something that managed to chart last year.
If you wanted to.
That last year was not terrific for pop music.
Yeah, it was like,
Better than 2016, but
yes, I generally got that impression, yeah.
just like some
Um,
Bruno Mars songs I liked. Paris. Um,
yeah, like, I mean,
what else was good last year? I don't know. Trey,
like,
do you have
there
a
were
favorite charting
songs that
song last
got
year?
on the charts but didn't make the year-end list that were very good.
I'm so fucking mad that Hard Times didn't chart, like, at all.
By who again?
Paramore.
Paramore.
Oh, yeah,
That
yeah.
song, like, should have taken over the world. And it just didn't. And I don't know
I
why.
am I am one of those people who is more than modestly salty that Lord's Greenlight got to like number 11 and didn't make the year-end
And
charts.
then just dropped off, yeah.
Yeah, that is a fucking great song.
Yeah, I went back to it after Todd's review, and I was like, damn, I need to listen to this album because this song like
Yeah.
has me ready to punch shit. Like,
Yeah, that
yes,
pre-chorus is godly. Like where's the up and down piano chords where she goes from like a low range to a high range in the melody and it's just like
I
and
got no
she's just
idea where we are.
there's just like that simmering
Somewhere in
intensity
Europe.
throughout the whole thing is
Nope.
just fantastic.
Nope.
You got
we're
6 points. That's
Australia.
the lowest I've ever seen in my life.
Well. Alright.
Australia.
But yeah, like, yeah.
And that's the show.
Oh, I wanted to keep going on about pop music for a while.
Well, I do need a co-host for tomorrow because Cece is in San Diego with her dad, so she's not going to be on. Maybe you can come on tomorrow if you're.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys are free, we can just do like another Shapes and Forms if you want.
That could be cool. If hey Trey, you available?
I very well may be. I
Alright.
don't think I'm doing anything tomorrow in the nighttime. I've got something in the day, but
Nothing
Yeah.
tomorrow in the nighttime. But yeah, Cece is out west visiting her dad, so I can't.
Yeah, I literally never have anything to do other than like hang around Discord awkwardly.
We can talk about it on the Discord.
Yeah, I would. But I'm totally game. Yeah.
I would probably just be playing Persona 3, but I mean, again, let's be honest here. Who watches this show for the video games? Like, you know.
I mean, there are. I mean, like the video games are fun, but it's
Yeah,
like it's only half the full experience. We're basically a podcast with
yeah,
video games.
basically.
Yeah,
That's how it goes on this bitch
that's
of an
how
earth.
it be.
That's how it be.
Ain't that just the way?
So be it.
Once upon a time in the West.
Alternately, once upon a
It's
time,
Christmas
there was a
time
middle to this
in
story, but
Hollis
fuck it.
Green.
We need some ends. Except that
Hollis
song
Green.
is really dark. I don't
Mama's
think that
cooking
fits.
chicken and collard greens.
Oh wait.
Nods
That's
vigorously. Alright. So we will see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place. Well, I'll see you tomorrow. We'll see about my co-hosts.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah.
I would not mind seeing y'all tomorrow.
And also, I feel
Yeah.
like we kind of need to make up for February because we didn't do any shapes. Like we did, or January because we did like one show.
Just remember that one song that goes, "Baby, I'm sorry for 2004," and like, I'm gonna sing that to the chat.
And that's my cue to end the show. Alright, we'll see you guys
See you
tomorrow.
guys.